very hard to make Geico.com very easy. Say you want to report a claim and follow its progress. You can do it all online at Geico.com. Not to mention perhaps saving a tidy sum of money on your car insurance. All it takes is a few clicks. So visit Geico.com today. Oh, and Mum, if you're listening, yes, I did wash beyond my ears this morning.
The holidays are here, and this year more than ever, it's a time to be with family.
As the Tri-State tries to get back on its feet from Sandy, WCBS will give away $1,000 every weekday.
Money you could use for storm repair, holiday gifts, or to give to your favorite charity.
So listen every weekday morning at 8:20 to hear how you could win $1,000 from WCBS 880.
WCBS News Time 728, traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, we have delays building up about 30-plus at the GWB from the express lanes of 80-95. The other approaches are going to be at about 15 minutes or less, and the less will come in from the Palisades Parkway. The inbound Lincoln Tunnel with about a 30 to 35-minute wait, and the inbound Holland with a 15 to 20-minute delay. We have delays on the Bronx River Parkway, northbound side Bronx River Road. A collision, 2 lanes are blocked there. We go to Westchester on the Hutch, northbound Mamaroneck Avenue, a collision being worked on there. And on 684 southbound around the area of Exit 8 in Croton Falls, we had a collision in 1 lane at that spot. Tappan Zee Bridge, first off southbound throughways, heavy 59 over to 303. Slow across the Tappan Zee. Posted speed there is now at 45 miles per hour. Delays on the LIE westbound side at Vets Highway, again in through 135, again in through the Northern State, and again Glen Cove Road in through Willis Avenue. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru all-wheel drive ground patrol. Bernie Viter has the Mass Transit update.
No delays reported at the area airports, and New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring tickets system-wide today. This report sponsored by Morton Ice Melt. Winter has arrived, so stay prepared when winter storms hit with ice melters from Morton Salt. Morton's melters can help keep walkways and steps safe and clear of ice and snow in the most extreme temps, and they also offer melters that are safer for pets, plants, and concrete. Visit MortonMelters.com for more info. Here's Craig Allen, WCBS Pinpoint Weather.
Dustings of snow already on the ground, and some of the less heavily traveled roads north in sections of New Jersey, north of 80 and on up into the lower Hudson Valley. Elsewhere, a light mix of wet snow and rain starting to break out for more and more of the area. That's your forecast through the day today, then going over to all snow before ending late today into tonight, with a coating to an inch or so of slushy snowfall on the ground on the colder surfaces, but 2 to 4 inches possible, especially in western and central New Jersey, especially in the higher elevations too. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
WCBS News Time 7:30.
News, traffic, and weather. On air, online. We are News Radio. WCBS 880.
Good Tuesday morning, November 27th. I'm Michael Wallace.
Good morning, I'm Pat Carroll. Here's the latest from the WCBS Newsroom.
Tri-State wakes up to a little bit of snow.
The morning commute should be fine, but the evening rush could be tricky.
Governor Cuomo says Sandy was worse than Katrina. He's asking for $42 billion in federal help.
FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate will tour storm-damaged Connecticut today. We'll talk live with Congressman Jim Himes, who will be with him.
A Queens school badly damaged by Hurricane Sandy reopens today. We're live in Bell Harbor.
Sports, Nets beat the Knicks in their first battle in Brooklyn, 96-89 in overtime.
Monday Night Football, Panthers beat the Eagles 30-22. WCBS News Time 7:31.
Tracking the storm. Now the latest from WCBS News.
The snow's already coming down, but the city isn't expected to get much more than an inch or so. Chief Meteorologist Craig Allen says the tricky part of the commute will be later today.
Towards this evening, as the sun begins to set, the slushy coating that's the best time for a slushy coating to an inch or two on the colder surfaces around the city and the coastal sections, less south and east, more north and west. When we're thinking of western sections of New Jersey, will have the highest amounts this time west of 287, a 2 to 4 inch snowfall.
WCBS reporter Paul Murnane has been driving around in some slick conditions this morning. Where do we find you now, Paul?
Yeah, I'm on 287, just getting off here at Wanacue, Pompton Lakes exit, Michael. And, since 5 a.m., I've been out in the snow, jumping back and forth over the New York-New Jersey border on the Thruway and 287. And really, I haven't encountered anything more than bare, wet road surfaces. But you do notice this morning that there is more of a snow cover on grassy surfaces, and even around now, some of the branches around areas of Mahwah and Suffern. There's much less of a snow coating that's visible on the grassy surfaces here just off 287 south of Mahwah. Again, just bare, wet road surfaces that I've seen. Light snow for the most part, but the most substantial snow that I have been in has been around that area of Suffern and Mahwah. But again, bare, wet road surfaces, no problem getting around. Reporting live, Paul Murnane, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time 7:32. Governor Cuomo is asking the federal government for $42 billion in aid to recover from Hurricane Sandy, saying it was worse than Katrina.
When you look at the number of homes and businesses affected, this storm affected many, many more people and places than Katrina. And arguably, therefore, this created more housing and economic damage than Katrina. Now, Katrina had a human toll that thankfully we have not paid in this region.
Some of the money would be used to protect the power grid and cell phone network in case of another storm.
FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate will be in Connecticut today, touring damaged areas of Milford, Fairfield, Bridgeport, Norwalk. And with him on that tour will be Congressman Jim Himes, who joins us live on our newsline now. Congressman, thanks for joining us. What does the state hope to get from FEMA?
Well, as you just heard from Governor Cuomo in that clip, all of us are concerned that FEMA fully understand the magnitude of the rebuilding challenge that we face. And not just the rebuilding challenge, but, the enormous amount of money that was put out by municipalities and by counties in places like New Jersey to make safe the situation after Sandy and to rebuild. Like every other region in the country, our region is one that has been hit economically hard. So should taxpayers in these communities be forced to pay for the municipal expenses as well as their own rebuilding expenses, it puts a dramatic amount of pressure on the economy here. So our hope is mainly that we get an opportunity to show Administrator Fugate, the extent of the damage and the size of the geographical footprint that this storm hit.
So about a month in now, how would you describe the recovery? Which areas need the most help?
Well, fortunately here in Connecticut, we were not hit as hard as certain areas of New York and New Jersey. We were very lucky in that we had minimal loss of life, less so than in New York and New Jersey. But we did sustain quite a bit of property damage. And so, again, concentrated in my district, which is more or less Fairfield County, we sustained actually much more significant damage than we saw during Hurricane Irene.
Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. Let's switch gears and talk about this fiscal cliff, the talks restarting in Washington this week. You've said you don't actually like the term fiscal cliff. Why?
Well, it's sort of a minor point, but a fiscal cliff sort of implies that if you fall off it, you're in a world of catastrophe. And as a result, everybody is looking at December 31st as this absolute hardened, fast deadline behind which is total catastrophe. That's actually not the case. If you actually read the reports written by the Congressional Budget Office and by any of the economists who have looked at the effect of the fiscal cliff, there's no doubt that we want to avoid it. We absolutely, positively want to avoid it. And in fact, if we'd had a less contentious and partisan form of government, we might have had a plan already. However, the fact is that the sun rises on January 2nd, and the effects of the fiscal cliff, the economic effects, kick in over time. So unfortunately, I think now expectations are that if we don't have a deal on January 1st, we're, in a world of severe catastrophe. That's just not true. Now, that doesn't mean I'm looking for more time or like this should be postponed, but, sometimes when people think, perceptions shape reality. So, but nonetheless, I remain optimistic that a deal gets done here. It'll be a little messy along the way, but I do think a deal will get done.
Any areas you think Democrats and Republicans can agree on? You want to tell us?
Well, there's obviously been pretty significant disagreement over both taxes and entitlement reform, but part of the reason I'm optimistic is that after the election, you heard Speaker Boehner say that new revenue, new taxes were on the table, and you've heard the president be, constructive on the need to fairly reform programs like Medicare and Social Security. So you see basically hands being reached across the aisle towards a deal.
All right. Connecticut Congressman Jim Himes, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
WCBS News Time, 7:36.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Anetoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anetoblock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anetoblock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-591-5693 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Anetoblock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-591-5693 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-591-5693 for details. Call today, 800-591-5693. That's 800-591-5693. Again, 800-591-5693. Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Anetoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anetoblock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anetoblock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-648-5148 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Anetoblock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-648-5148 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-648-5148 for details. Call today, 800-648-5148. That's 800-648-5148. Again, 800-648-5148.
Traffic and weather together next.
WCBS News Time 7:38. Expanded traffic and weather together on the 8, sponsored by the Greater New York Toyota dealers.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, and just some light rain falling here south of Newark Airport, but we do have some slick conditions happening or starting to happen around the area. Let's go over to the right at the Yonkers border on the Bronx River Parkway, northbound side, right around Wakefield Avenue. We have a collision, at least 6 vehicles involved there. So just be mindful of that. Northbound side of the Bronx River is where that is. Southbound, we have some delays building up through that area with rubbernecking. We had a collision on the Hutch northbound side of Mamaroneck Avenue. That's just been cleared. Those travel lanes are open. We go to New Jersey on the westbound side of Route 3 with some stop-and-go volume now at the Garden State Parkway again and through Route 46. And then continuing westbound 46, Browardtown Road in Little Falls, we had a collision, 1 lane blocked at that spot. Inbound Lincoln Tunnel with about a 35 to 40-minute delay, the inbound side of the Holland at 20, and the inbound GWB 30-plus from the express lanes of 80-95, but much better from any of the other approaches. The mass transit picture at this point pretty much on or close to schedule, and on New Jersey Transit, they will be doing a full cross-honoring across the rail and bus and light rail systems today because of the weather moving in. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru all-wheel drive ground patrol. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
And the forecast from meteorologist Craig Allen.
Periods of wet snow occasionally mixed with rain in some areas. It'll taper off late this evening. Now, there could be a slushy coating to an inch or two on the colder surfaces, but 2 to 4 inches, especially in the western and central sections of New Jersey in the higher terrain. High today, 33 to 38. Low tonight, 30 to 35. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. It's breezy. 38 to 42. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Cloudy and 41 now in lower Manhattan.
And coming up on the Osgood Files, citrus greening hits Florida orange crops.
WCBS News Time 740. WCBS News Time 741.
The Osgood Files, sponsored in part by LiftMaster Garage Door Openers. Use your smartphone to open or close your garage door anytime from anywhere. This is Charles Osgood. A bacterial disease with no cure is spreading through the orange groves where your orange juice comes from. It's called citrus greening.
We've lost jobs. We've lost $3.5 billion in economic impact here in Florida since greening was discovered.
Andrew Meadows is with Florida Citrus Mutual, representing the growers there. Any reason that people should care if they're not citrus growers?
Take a look at your 8-ounce glass of orange juice in the morning and just imagine that not being there, because that's how serious it is.
The story after this. Where will you be when you remember you left the garage door open? Halfway to the office? Halfway around the world? Well, if you got a LiftMaster garage door opener with MyQ technology, you got nothing to worry about. With LiftMaster, you can use your smartphone or computer to open or close your garage door from anywhere. You can turn your house lights on or off, too. And LiftMaster garage door openers with battery backup keep your garage door working even if the power isn't. Find a dealer near you at liftmaster.com.
So, Dr. Marisi, as an economist, you're saying business leaders don't understand the true cost of documents?
They just don't get it. Unmanaged printers and MFPs, dysfunctional document workflow, it's profit-killing chaos.
So what's the answer?
Kyocera.
Dr. Marisi. So go from chaos to Kyocera.
Hey, that's my line.
Learn more about Kyocera technology like a 50-page per minute Task Alpha 5550 CI color MFP at KyoceraDocumentSolutions.com/US.
Our CBS News colleague Manuel Bojorquez has been looking into this devastating disease that's attacking orange trees.
It's spread by the Asian citrus psyllid. The insect came to Florida with imported plants in 1998. The trees started dying in 2005.
The tree can be infected with this disease and not show symptoms for 3 years. So when we look at a tree that looks healthy today, we're not sure. We don't know.
Vic Story has grown oranges in Florida for 50 years, but now his 5,000-acre farm is under attack.
What is it like for you when you look at a tree that has this disease?
Well, first of all, I think about planting that tree. A lot of them I planted, and I think about how hard it's going to be to get another tree to that point.
Nearly half of Florida's orange trees are infected. Citrus greening has also been discovered in Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, and California.
Pesticides can kill the insect that spreads the disease, but there is no cure once a tree has been infected. Not yet, anyway.
Farmers and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are spending $69 million to develop a cure, but it could take years.
Manuel Bojorquez, thank you. The Osgood File. Transcripts, podcasts, and MP3s of these programs can be found at theosgoodfile.com. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS News Time, 7:44. What a basketball game in Brooklyn last night. Sports next.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
According to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, there are over 5,000 robberies every day. Your home could be at risk of being burglarized. Don't put your loved ones and valuables in jeopardy. For just over $1 per day, your home can be protected from break-ins, fire, and more. Get the latest home security technology from Protect Your Home, your ADT authorized dealer. Over 6 million households sleep better at night with ADT monitored home security. What's more, Protect Your Home is offering you their latest equipment, an $850 value, absolutely free for qualified customers. Protect your loved ones and home today. Call now for licenses and to find out more. The call is free, 1-800-285-9584. That's 1-800-285-9584. Again, 1-800-285-9584. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring agreement at $36.99 per month. Payment by credit card or electronic bank account charge. For new homeowner customers with satisfactory credit history only. Local permit fees may be required. Certain restrictions apply. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Snow north and west of the city and rain for now to the south. A couple of areas, especially north and west, could get 2 to 4 inches today. It's 41 right now in lower Manhattan. The 5-day forecast in 3 minutes.
At 880 on your AM dial and live on your computer and smartphone at CBSNewYork.com. Wherever you are, we are. New York's News Radio, WCBS 880.
Good Tuesday morning. I'm Pat Carroll.
And I'm Michael Wallace.
Coming up on WCBS.
Well, today feels like the first day of school for some kids in our area.
S&P futures now up 1. Joe Connolly in 10 minutes has all the business.
WCBS News Time 7:45. Brad Heller with all the sports.
Well, Michael, Barclays Center, the place to be last night. First meeting between the Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets. A sold-out crowd, and fans got their money's worth. Overtime, the Nets hanging on for a 96-89 victory. 22 points, 11 rebounds for Brook Lopez. The Knicks led by 35 from Brooklyn native Carmelo Anthony. Tyson Chandler chipped in with a career-high 28, but nobody else scored in double figures. It was a miserable night for Raymond Felton. 8 points on 3 of 19 shooting.
I mean, I was getting to the basket. I just couldn't hit nothing. My floater wasn't going. If I could change it, I would have. But just one of those nights, man. I just got to try to put it behind me. I'm proud probably just as mad as any fan, any player, anybody you could think about.
Felton's backcourt mate Jason Kidd did not play because of back spasms. The Knicks and Nets, both 9-4, tied for first in the Atlantic Division. Monday Night Football, 4 touchdowns for Cam Newton, 2 throwing, 2 rushing. The Panthers beat the Eagles in Philadelphia 30-22, Philly's 7th straight loss. Meanwhile, Giants running back Andre Brown landing on injured reserve because of that broken leg. He could return, though, at some point during the playoffs. Baseball, after the Rays signed their all-star third baseman Evan Longoria yesterday to a 6-year, $100 million contract extension. Fox Sports reporting that the Mets have offered David Wright that same deal. Wright, under contract for 2013, he's set to make $16 million. Meanwhile, according to ESPN, Andy Pettitte close to finishing a deal to return to the Yankees for another season. And federal mediators will try and help the NHL settle its labor dispute. The first meeting is expected to take place tomorrow. Today is day 73 of the lockout. Sports at 15:45. Brad Eller, WCBS 880 Sports.
WCBS News Time, 7:47.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
WCBS News Time, 7:48.
Let's check in with Tom Kaminsky.
All right, let's take it over to the inbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel. Delays about 35-40 minutes now. The inbound Holland with about a 20-minute wait. In the inbound GWB, the express lanes of 80-95, that's where we're going to have a delay of about 35 to 40 minutes now is the report. But it is going to be much better from any of the other approaches. We go through Fairfield County, southbound side of I-95, delays in through 27, again at 21, again 16. Again, some delays we see through 13, again 7 on down through 5. A note for you on the Major Deegan northbound side, right in the area of Yonkers Avenue. We have a collision being worked on there. One lane is blocked. Now your Allstate Good Hands traffic tip, the northbound Bronx River Parkway at Wakefield Avenue in Yonkers, a collision. 2 lanes are blocked. There are 6 vehicles involved. You'll be in good hands if you use the northbound Hutch. We have all travel lanes now reopened there at the Hutch at Mamaroneck Avenue. A collision there has now been cleared. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru All-Wheel Drive Ground Patrol. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
Don't let mayhem leave you stranded. Be protected with Good Hands roadside assistance from Allstate.
It's free to join and open to everyone. Plus, there are no annual fees, and you only pay when you use it. Register at allstate.com/roadside. Are you in good hands?
Craig Allen has the 5-day forecast. Who gets the most snow out of this today?
Western sections of New Jersey, west of 287. Radar filling in now with mostly light snow. Dustings already on the ground north of 80 and on into the lower Hudson Valley. And let's say parts of the upper Bronx even seeing some snowflakes now, too. North shore of Long Island had a few flurries. South of 78, it is primarily rain, but it eventually will start to mix over with some wet snow during the course of the day. So periods of wet snow, occasionally mixed with rain, back, forth. If you're near the coast, that's your lowest accumulations, lowest elevations. And it could be anywhere from a coating to an inch or two of slush by the time the storm ends late this evening and early tonight. However, once you start climbing in elevation and get back west of 287 into the areas that are under a winter weather advisory, like Warren, Sussex, and Hunterdon County, Morris and Somerset County, Upper Passaic County, most likely too, will be in the 2 to 4 inch range, especially on the colder surfaces. Temperatures 33 to 38 today, 30 to 35 tonight. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. It's breezy, 38 to 42, and really no weather problems Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday after that. Right now in the city, 41 degrees and cloudy. A few flurries have been noted up in upper Manhattan. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
WCBS News Time, 7:51.
A Queens public school that suffered significant damage during Hurricane Sandy is finally reopening this morning. Let's go live to Belle Harbor and WCBS reporter Sean Adams. So what kind of damage are we talking about, Sean?
Well, this was extensive flooding damage at PSMS 114 here in Belle Harbor. The floors had to be ripped out. The auditorium is still off limits, but what I'm seeing this morning is truly heartwarming. There really is no place like home. You have a bunch of little guys right now with the backpacks on, almost as big as they are, and they're trudging off into the school building. They're hugging each other. They're smiling. They're really happy to be back. I mean, it was a traumatic experience. Many of these children rode out the storm when the ocean met the bay. And it was terrifying. And then their homes were either damaged or destroyed, and they were dislocated and had to be relocated to other schools. They're not staying in their own homes in many cases. I mean, if you're a young child, your world is turned upside down. It's absolutely terrifying. So this morning, it's a little bit of normalcy. They're getting back to their school building. They're meeting up with friends, finding out how everybody's doing, and they're really relieved.
Kids have been all over the place in the past month, some of them attending other schools, others not attending any at all. What's being done, Sean, to help these kids readjust?
I guess we lost Sean. Sean Adams has been reporting for us this morning about the reopening of a school in Belle Harbor that was closed because of severe damage from Hurricane Sandy.
Cloudy here in lower Manhattan, 41 degrees, but snow north and west of the city and rain to the south. The north and west could get 2 to 4 inches today. Here in the city, just a slushy coating to an inch.
WCBS News Time, 7:53.
Liz.
Todd?
I want you back.
You're just saying that because I got a makeover to make me look hot, even though I was hot to begin with.
No. I miss those nights instantly watching TV episodes and movies online with Netflix.
We watched as much as we wanted.
Whenever and wherever we wanted.
So, you love me? Even if I put these glasses back on?
Wow, those are thick. Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
Years ago, my doctor told me to take a Centrum Silver multivitamin every day. I tell him, sure, can't hurt, right? Then I heard this news about a multivitamin study looking at long-term health benefits for men over 50. And the multivitamin they used for the study, Centrum Silver. Hey, that's what I take. My doctor, he really knows his stuff.
The most recommended, most preferred, most studied. Centrum, always your most complete. A prior formula of Centrum Silver was used in the study.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Here's reality, guys. If you're over 30, your testosterone levels may have already begun to decline. It's a medical fact that testosterone levels decrease with age. Here's the good news. Progene, the only all-natural dual-action testosterone supplement, is giving away a free month supply to every guy that calls today at 800-659-8316. Kick your drive back into high gear and be the man you want to be again. Try it for a month for free. There's nothing to lose. Feel younger again and be the man you want to be. Call 800-659-8316 for details. That's 800-659-8316.
Joe Connolly next with business.
WCBS Business News at 7:55, sponsored by London Jewelers.
Joe Connolly, Wall Street Journal.
Here's a phrase we haven't heard. Bonuses are up a lot. At Cravath Law Firm here in Manhattan, bonuses are up as much as 60% over last year. In another sign that business is turning the corner at companies that have survived. Bonuses are still not as high as they were, but a consultant to law firm says business is the best it's been in years for firms that have established areas of go-to strengths. There's the key phrase there. Areas of go-to strengths are the core business. But the pay gap is getting wider between senior and junior attorneys, too. Just like we were saying yesterday that the pay gap is growing between the tellers and the more experienced lending officers at the banks. And the pay gap, income inequality, the shrinking middle class is a problem to be worked out too, like taxes and deficits. But the law firm consultant says clients only want the senior attorneys. One business owner tells me she would take another job if companies would raise the pay and make it worthwhile. Dow futures are flat. A report says multifamily homes are selling better. Often it's one of the families that lives in the house that buys it. Another report says more buyers are modernizing 1950s and 60s ranch houses because people of all ages like single-story living. And Connecticut small business owner Peter Loden of Walker Loden Gifts and Furniture with 2 locations says we know our customers by talking to them, not by counting shopping bags on the sidewalk in front of the store. I'm Joe Connolly for the Wall Street Journal on WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Time, 7:57.
It's every parent's worry. Sick child and you can't reach your doctor. Well, thanks to the pediatric emergency rooms at the new University Hospital, SUNY Downstate. This is Dr. Michael Lucchese. Our pediatric ERs are for the emergency care of children. Separate, super clean, with very short wait times and outstanding ER doctors. In fact, our doctors teach the doctors who practice in New York. More New York City doctors graduate from SUNY Downstate than any other medical school. ER doctors here are trained in a highly competitive program, specifically in children's emergency care. So when you're worried and up at night, the ER to remember is at University Hospital, SUNY Downstate, Litch, Central Brooklyn, and the Bay Ridge Urgent Care Center, where education and research are put into practice.
For a physician referral, 1-888-270-SUNY, 1-888-270-SUNY.
WCBS News Time, 7:58. Traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, just getting word of some police activity now at the Brooklyn Bridge on the Brooklyn-bound side. So we have everything shut there temporarily, and headed inbound side, it appears to be open, but a lot of heavy volume there as well. Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge, pretty typical volume. The inbound side of the GWB express lanes of 8095, about a 35 to 40-minute delay, 20 or less from the other approaches. 30 at the Lincoln, the inbound side of the Holland at 15. Southbound throughways heavy from 59 over to 303. Again, across the Tappan Zee Bridge, the posted speed there is at 45 miles per hour. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
If you're thinking of leasing or financing a luxury vehicle this holiday season, think Mercedes-Benz.
During the Mercedes-Benz winter event, you can take advantage of limited-time lease and finance offers on select 4MATIC all-wheel drive models. Log on to searchmercedes.com and let the holiday shopping begin.
Here's Craig Allen.
Light precipits starting to spread over most of the area now. A winter weather advisory from much of New Jersey west of 287. So we're talking about elevation. And there you could see a 2 to 4 inch snowfall, especially on the colder surfaces. Elsewhere, it's a coating to an inch or so. It tapers off late this evening.
News, traffic, and weather on air, online. We are News Radio, WCBS New York.
Good morning, Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Pat Carroll.
And I'm Michael Wallace. The World News Roundup is next, sponsored by Prestige BMW. Then these top stories.
Light snow and wet roads in the second snowfall of November. I'm Paul Murnane along 287 in North Jersey.
Reaction to criticism of state and county emergency hurricane response.
Hindsight is 20/20.
I'm Mike Zaranax in Bethpage, Long Island.
Restoring photos and memories for Hurricane Sandy victims.
I mean, you can't even tell that photo was ever damaged or had any type of water damage.
I'm Marla Diamond in Brooklyn.
Sports, Nets beat the Knicks in overtime.
Monday Night Football, Eagles lose their 7th in a row. This one to the Carolina Panthers.
WCBS News Time, 8 o'clock.
UN ambassador to Capitol Hill
to explain her comments about Benghazi in the days after the attack.
Cyber Monday sales surge
up 28% from last year.
Was a Palestinian icon poisoned?
They are asking questions. We need to have answers.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. America's ambassador to the United Nations goes to Capitol Hill today. Susan Rice meets with Republican critics who've accused her of misleading the public in the days after the deadly attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, refusing at the time to call it terrorism. CBS's Cami McCormick in Washington says it's an important day for Rice, who could be President Obama's choice to succeed Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State.
Republicans appear to be backing off their earlier vows to oppose her nomination, but they still want answers. Senator John McCain is one of the lawmakers Rice has requested a meeting with. He had said she's unfit for the job, but another top-ranking Republican said Rice may have been thrown under the bus with the Benghazi talking points she was given at the time.
President Obama, who publicly defended Rice last week, is now making a series of appeals for his way to avoid the fiscal cliff. He meets with small business owners at the White House today, with middle-class families tomorrow, and he heads to suburban Philadelphia on Friday. CBS's Bob Fuss has the latest from Capitol Hill.
No one thinks they're close to a deal, but talks are continuing to find a way around the fiscal mess that Congress created for itself in a series of deadlines on taxes and spending, all hitting 5 weeks from today. Mostly they involve staff-level talks between President Obama and Republican House Speaker John Boehner, though the two did talk themselves on the phone over the weekend.
Billionaire financier Warren Buffett, who supports the president's plan to raise taxes on the wealthy, tells Charlie Rose investors shouldn't and likely won't flee if that happens or if a deal takes time.
I hope something gets worked out before January 1st, but if it goes a little bit beyond that, I do not think that.
January 10th or January 2nd?
I will not be selling If you guaranteed me that the fiscal cliff, we would go past that, I wouldn't sell a share of stock today.
Overseas, Greece has worked out a deal with its international creditors, and IMF Director Christine Lagarde says it frees up billions in loan money and should prevent the country from defaulting on its debts.
Greece is committed to do what it takes and has taken the prior actions and voted the right budget and made the right commitment.
Market reaction's been cautious, and some analysts say it's far from a long-term fix. Walmart says a Bangladesh factory that burned down last week was not authorized to make clothes for the retail giant. A subcontractor had apparently still been buying from the factory. 112 people died in the fire. Authorities now say it may be a case of arson. Walmart and many other retailers here at home are encouraged by Cyber Monday's record online shopping spree. We're live with CBS's Vicki Barker.
A projected record-shattering $1.5 billion in online sales yesterday. At one Amazon warehouse, workers like this one were processing more than 200 orders a second.
We need to come up with a new word for busy. We've probably been on hyperdrive.
Consumers voting the 2008 recession officially over, says USC business professor Lawrence Harris.
After 4 years, they want to be a little more generous with their gift giving. They want to take care of themselves.
Top searched item, the Kindle Fire. Number 2, Ugg boots. Steve?
Officials had hoped to open the Sunland peanut processing plant today in New Mexico, but yesterday the FDA stepped in using new powers to keep it closed. Salmonella from the plant sickened 41 people who ate Trader Joe's peanut butter. It's 4 minutes after the hour.
I heard it can make you sick and miserable.
I heard it can make kids so sick they have to go to a hospital.
I heard it could put the health of pregnant women in danger.
If you have something like diabetes or you're an older adult, I heard it can kill.
If you heard that influenza can seriously threaten your health, you heard right. Influenza can strike anyone, and when it does, it makes people sick, putting tens of thousands in the hospital. In New York City, over 1,000 people die from influenza every year. So who needs a flu vaccine? Everyone does. But anyone 50 or older, or children younger than 5, people who have long-term health problems or are pregnant are especially at risk. Vaccination is a safe and simple way to protect yourself and your loved ones. Flu vaccine is easy to find. Ask your doctor, call 311 or visit nyc.gov and search for flu. A message from the New York City Health Department.
Egyptian police have again clashed with protesters in Tahrir Square. CBS's Holly Williams in Cairo says the anger is over the new president's decrees that give him absolute power.
Some of President Morsi's supporters were also planning a protest today, but they cancelled that over fears that the two groups might clash. However, some of those supporters are still going ahead, and it certainly wouldn't be surprising if we did see more violent confrontations as we have over the last few days.
In Syria, activists say new air attacks in the northern part of the country killed 20 people and injured others. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer in Damascus says there's also fighting not far from the capital.
We can hear heavy shelling this morning of the Damascus suburbs. These are areas a couple of miles out which are under control of the armed opposition. Activists say there's been fighting inside the city itself and also on the airport road.
Now to the West Bank, where Palestinians are talking about the exhumation and reburial of Yasser Arafat's remains.
Maybe to know the truth, to find out what happened, because they are asking questions, we need to have answers.
Doctors will try to determine from the samples they took if the Palestinian leader who died in 2004 was poisoned. That's been the claim of some relatives and political allies. British forensic pathologist Stuart Hamilton says it will be hard to come up with any definitive proof.
The longer the interval between someone's death and the examination, the more difficult it is to get the information that you need, and the more difficult it's going to be to interpret it.
The Arafat samples will be studied separately in Russia, France, and Switzerland. Here at home, there's a new study on one of the side effects of chemotherapy. Here's CBS's Dan Raviv.
It is typical for cancer patients having chemotherapy to feel out of it, forgetting things, in a mental fog. Now at the Radiological Society meeting in Chicago, evidence from brain scans.
Chemo brain is a real phenomenon. It's not something that we're just hearing our patients complain about.
There's reduced activity in parts of the brain, says Dr. Rachel Lagos at the West Virginia University School of Medicine. She's done PET scans on some patients for a full year.
And those images suggests that chemo brain does go away.
Dan Raviv, CBS News.
Also on the Health Watch today, a familiar and often criticized food additive is under fire again. Here's CBS's Steve Futterman.
The study shows a possible link between the use of high fructose corn syrup and type 2 diabetes. 42 countries were studied, says Dr. Michael Gorin, the principal study author.
About half the countries that we had data on used high fructose corn syrup in their food supply, and those countries had a 20% higher prevalence of diabetes.
The Corn Refiners Association, which represents manufacturers of high fructose corn syrup, calls the study flawed and misleading. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Nobel Prize winner Dr. Joseph Murray has died at 93. He performed the world's first successful kidney transplant in 1954. They're routine now, but Murray once said the first one was like Lindbergh's flight across the ocean. Wall Street before the bell, S&P futures up about 1.5 points. Time on the roundup, 8 past the hour.
Time for traffic and weather together on the 8, sponsored by B&H Photo and Video. Tom Kaminsky.
All right, we go back over to the Brooklyn Bridge. We have police activity, which is now closing both directions of the Brooklyn Bridge. So we are shut there. We are very heavy now. We were slow to begin with on the inbound Gowanus and northbound BQE from at least that area of the Belt Parkway and up through Atlantic Avenue and up to the Brooklyn Bridge. And now that is even turning heavier as you continue up toward Tillery Street to try to get over toward the Manhattan Bridge. So again, everything's shut both ways at the Brooklyn Bridge. We'll keep you posted there. We go to the inbound Lincoln at 40 minutes, the inbound Holland Tunnel with about a 20-minute wait, and the inbound GWB 30 to 40 minutes from the express lanes of 8095, but 15 minutes or better from any of the other approaches. We go to Yonkers. Had a couple of problems on the northbound side of the Bronx River Parkway at Wakefield Avenue. We had a multi-vehicle accident, at least 6 vehicles involved there. 2 lanes still blocked on the northbound side. Also, northbound New York State Thruway, Yonkers Avenue. We have a crash being worked on. Southbound Thruway up in Rockland. We're heavy at 15A in Sloatsburg with a crash. Then more delays 59 over to 303. Slow across the Tappan Zee Bridge. Posted speed there at the Tap is at 45 miles per hour. We go to the Connecticut Turnpike. Lots of volume. Southbound 27 to 21. Again at 18 in Westport. Again at 13. And again lots of stop and go that I see from 9 down through 7 on down through the area of exit 3 in Greenwich. The Merritt Parkway slightly better, but a lot of volume in through 44 and again in through 41. We go to New Jersey on the Garden State Parkway. Northbound delays up and over the Driscoll Bridge. More delays from the area of from the Union Tolls up toward 145. Southbound from Essex on down through the area of 147. We had a couple of earlier collisions along Route 80 around the area of exit 57 in Patterson. Now cleared. Travel lanes there are now open. Mass transit pretty much on or close to schedule. New Jersey Transit doing full cross-honoring today across the rail and bus and light rail systems because of the weather conditions. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru All-Wheel Drive Ground Patrol. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
All right, to the busy weather center, our chief meteorologist, Craig Allen. How are we doing with the storm so far?
Well, let's run it down as different conditions exist, different places. Flurries are being reported at Newark right now with some light rain at Teterboro. That's a switch. Back to light snow, though, over at White Plains. Lower Manhattan, some light raindrops, and upper Manhattan and the Bronx, a little bit of light snow. On the island, it's close to 40 degrees, so it's mainly light rain that's starting to break out at the present time. Hudson Valley, Newburgh, Montgomery, Poughkeepsie, all reporting snow and down around 30, 31 degrees, so it is sticking and it is slippery in spots. Into New Jersey, here's another good example. Caldwell has light rain, but Morristown has light snow. It's a mix at Somerville, and it's raining in Trenton. And up to Connecticut, you go to Danbury, and you find snow falling right now, but from Westport to Bridgeport and New Haven, it is light rain along the coast. So that is going to be, again, the key to the forecast for this afternoon. Location and elevation, and if you're near the coast, it'll probably be a slushy coating to an inch or so on the colder surfaces when it's done, and it'll be snowing through the afternoon, wet snow and rain, but not too much on the ground till late day or this evening. However, western sections of New Jersey, especially in the higher terrain, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, 38 to 42. Right now in the city, it's 40. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
All right, we just heard Craig with the forecast. We want to know what it's like out on the roads and driving around. WCBS reporter Paul Murnane. Where are you now, Paul?
Pat, I'm just off of 287 here at the Wanacue Pumpkin Lakes exit, and it's interesting to note here at the intersection at the bottom of the ramp that cars that are coming in from the west seem to have more snow on them than the cars that are approaching 287 coming from the east. But it hasn't been bad this morning. I've been largely on just bare and wet roads. There's a little more snow cover now noticeable on grassy surfaces, but there's much more snow that's noticeable on the ground just north of here. If you go up 287 and and you go up towards the Thruway, up towards Mawa and Suffern, and then you head over towards the Montebello exits, you see that the snow has been coming down, covering the grass and actually clinging around the tree branches there. But the roads have not been bad this morning, just bare, wet road surfaces. But a consistent light snow has been falling this morning, and I've been out in it since about 5 o'clock this morning. But the roads that I've been on seem to be in pretty good shape. Reporting live in North Jersey, Paul Murnane, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time, 8:12.
Ernie, I know you're our worst player, but I want you to win this thing.
How, Coach? I've been riding the bench watching Netflix on my tablet all season.
By running the play that would never work if this were a real game.
Sorry, all I know is that Netflix lets me instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as I want.
Listen, son, when you get the ball, just chuck it. It'll go in.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
How far would you go to help save someone's life? How about to your garage? If you have an unneeded vehicle, donate it to the Salvation Army. They'll pick it up for free, and the proceeds from its sale will help someone in the grip of addiction reclaim his life. To donate your vehicle, call 1-800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. You will be doing the most good.
Liz.
Todd?
I want you back.
You're just saying that because I got a makeover to make me look hot, even though I was hot to begin with.
No. I miss those nights instantly watching TV episodes and movies online with Netflix.
We watched as much as we wanted.
Whenever and wherever we wanted.
So, you love me? Even if I put these glasses back on?
Wow, those are thick.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
During these tough economic times, there is one thing you can count on: your education. Higher education will give you the chance at finding a better job and improve the quality of your life. Further your education and advance your career today. If you're looking to go back to school in the next 3 months and already have your high school diploma, start your search with the National Education Online Center. You'll get free expert advice, school information, and a free financial aid guide. NEOC will help you get matched to your right school today. Call 877-516-0727.
This is WCBS HD, and WCBS FM HD3 New York.
Still just clouds right here in lower Manhattan with 40 degrees, but we have light rain to the south of the city, flurries closer in, and snow north and west. The 5-day forecast in 3 minutes.
At 880 on your AM dial and live on your computer and smartphone at cbsnewyork.com. When you need to know, we've got you covered.
Good morning, I'm Michael Wallace.
Good morning, I'm Pat Carroll.
Coming up on WCBS News Radio.
We'll hear what a local group is doing to restore precious memories for Sandy victims.
S&P futures up a half. Business with Joe in 10 minutes.
WCBS Sports at 8:15. Brad Heller.
Well, Pat, the first of many battles for New York, the Knicks and Nets inaugural meeting in Brooklyn, and the Nets come away with a 96-89 victory in overtime in front of a sellout crowd at Barclays Center. Nets head coach Avery Johnson was able to soak up the atmosphere.
Every time, some sort of Knick contingency started to cheer, our fans got louder. And, this is what we've been dreaming about since I've been here. It's a nice feeling, and I'm glad we rewarded our fans with a victory.
The Nets improving to 7-1 at their new home. Brooke Lopez led the way, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony, who was born in Brooklyn, scored 35 in 50 minutes for the Knicks, but he faded down the stretch. Jason Kidd did not face his old team because of back spasms. Both teams are 9-4, tied for first in the Atlantic Division. Monday Night Football, a matchup of the worst two teams in the NFC. The Panthers beat the Eagles in Philadelphia 30-22. Cam Newton threw 2 touchdown passes, also ran for 2 scores. The Eagles have dropped 7 games in a row. Both teams are 3-8. Baseball, Fox Sports reporting that the Mets have offered David Wright a 6-year, $100 million contract extension, which is exactly what the Rays gave their all-star third baseman Evan Longoria yesterday. Longoria now signed through 2022. Meanwhile, according to ESPN, Andy Pettitte and the Yankees close to a new deal for the lefty to return in 2013. The Red Sox reportedly signing outfielder Johnny Gomes, the former Oakland A, gets 2 years, $10 million. And I'm not sure what took so long, but federal mediators have been called in by the NHL and the Players Association. Today is day 73 of the lockout. Sports sponsored by Kohl's Department Store. Don't miss the big one. Kohl's biggest 50% off sale this Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll find 50% off hundreds of great gift ideas store-wide for everyone on your list. 2 days only, this Tuesday and Wednesday. Kohl's, expect great things. Sports at 15 and 45. Brad Heller, WCBS 880 Sports.
WCBS News Time 8:17. Latest on the snow forecast next.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Gift giving can be stressful. Don't let your next special date catch you unprepared. You're just a click away from the perfect gift at RedEnvelope.com. RedEnvelope.com has always been the place online to find extraordinary one-of-a-kind gifts. But now it's even better with hundreds of amazing gifts. Fast, easy, and perfect. What more could you ask for? How about 20% off everything, plus our signature red gift box free? Okay, done. Just go to RedEnvelope.com and enter promotion code FAST at checkout. Hurry, this deal won't last forever. So go to RedEnvelope.com and enter code FAST.
WCBS News Time 8:18. Expanded traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Mavis Discount Tires.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, we just got the update now at the Brooklyn Bridge. All the travel lanes are now either have been reopened or just about reopened now in either direction at the Brooklyn Bridge. We had some police activity there on the Brooklyn-bound side. It also encompassed the Manhattan-bound side for a while, but now everything has been reopened there at the Brooklyn Bridge. Lots of heavy volume, though, inbound Gowanus, northbound BQE from the Belt right up to the Brooklyn Bridge, and southbound side, Queens Boulevard, down to the Williamsburg Bridge, and then more delays right on down to the Brooklyn Bridge. But again, all the travel lanes there have now been reopened. The inbound side of the Lincoln at 40 minutes plus, the Holland half that at 20, and the GWB still about 35 to 40 from the express lanes of 80-95, but anything else will be better for you. We go out to Long Island, Southern State eastbound side, a couple of collisions now, first at Wantagh Parkway 27, and then at Wantagh Avenue exit 28. Lots of volume on the westbound side through there as well, and again in for Grand Avenue and Eagle Avenue. The LIE is on the brakes at Vets Highway, again in for the area of Glen Cove Road and Willis Avenue. And in New Jersey on Route 18, both ways, we have a collision right in the area of Spring Valley Road and Old Bridge, so we have lanes closed in either direction there. We are still slow on the westbound side of Route 46, right around the area of Browardtown Road and Little Falls. We had an earlier collision at that spot. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru All-Wheel Drive Ground Patrol. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
Craig Allen has our 5-day forecast. So is this storm panning out pretty much as you'd expected?
So far, winter weather advisories are staying for the western sections of New Jersey, west of 287. Periods of wet snow, occasionally mixed with rain, and the best chance for seeing the mix or going back and forth between rain and wet snow is for the coast. Best chance of seeing primarily wet snow is north and west of the city. Not too far north, can't go much farther north than Interstate 84 to find very little in the way of precip. However, most sections of New Jersey that are in the winter weather advisory, like Sussex, Warren, Hunterdon County, Morris County, Somerset, and probably Upper Passaic should be in it as well. Most likely we'll see the 2 to 4 inch range of snowfall, especially in the colder surfaces. As Paul Murnane has been reporting as he's driving around this morning, many of the roads, especially the heavily traveled roads, are staying just wet. And during the daylight hours, I expect that to be the case. Late this afternoon, after 2, 3 o'clock or so, when the snow begins to fall and still falling and the sun is beginning to set, that's when it could get real slippery on the commute home. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, 38 to 42. The Land Rover Tri-State Retailers forecast is pretty simple. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with sunshine and a gradual warming trend. 40 now in the city, humidity 67%. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Coming up on the WCBS Morning News, restoring photos and memories for victims of Sandy.
WCBS News Time 8:21.
Guys, you've heard about Ageless Male, the natural supplement that helps boost testosterone levels within normal, healthy ranges. But now, the best testosterone product is even better. New and improved Ageless Male can help you feel more like you used to in your active life and in your romantic life. Because our upgraded formula has been clinically shown to increase your drive, desire, and performance. That's right, guys. Ageless Male has been clinically shown to boost performance. Cancel your plans this weekend. You're staying in. If you're ready to recapture the drive from your youth, now is the time to try Ageless Male because it's available risk-free. But you must call now. Just call 1-800-249-1889. Be the guy you used to be. Just call 1-800-249-1889. 1-800-249-1889. 1-800-249-1889.
There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that needs to be done, and we have to work together and be patient.
We will build back better than ever before.
I'm very proud of you, New York.
Helping our communities recover. Be listening at 3:50 this afternoon. That's your chance to win $1,000 in Sandy recovery.
When you hear the audio trigger we just played, be the 88th caller at 877-987-WCBS and win.
That's 3:50 this afternoon, 877-987-WCBS. It's toll free.
And again, if you don't win today, don't worry. We'll be running this contest every weekday through December 7th.
So listen at 8:20 every morning to find out when we'll be giving away that day's prize.
WCBS News Time, 8:22, nearly a month after Sandy. Some officials on Long Island have a difference of opinion on how the county, Nassau County, responded to the storm. WCBS Long Island Bureau Chief Mike Zirinax has the story.
Nassau Executive Ed Mangano says he's proud of the county's emergency response after Hurricane Sandy. He was reacting to criticism from some village mayors at the county and state underestimated the need for manpower and equipment.
This could have been a storm that had a significant loss of life. I think it's a testament to every emergency responder that there was such a minimal loss of life.
Hindsight is 20/20, says Mangano, but Mark Weiss, mayor of Hewlett Harbor, says it's important we learn from this storm and be better prepared for the next.
That these storms are going to occur again is not the question. It's how we're going to be able to deal with them.
In Bethpage, Long Island, Mike Zirinax, WCBS 880 News.
There's no such thing as insurance for memories, but a local group is trying to restore some of them for people affected by Sandy.
They are the items that money can't replace.
There's photos that are coming in that are wedding photos. There's photos that are coming in where, the person may no longer be here anymore.
Vic Manchanda, co-founder of GoPreserve.com and the group Care for Sandy, are cleaning and scanning storm-damaged photos for free.
So you see in this photo, the hand can't even see the baby's right hand. And
the photo restorers are planning to visit other hard-hit areas in the coming weeks.
It feels good because we're able to do something good.
In Brooklyn, Marla Diamond, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time, 8:24.
If you have bad credit, you're not alone. Did you know that as much as 79% of all credit reports contain errors and incorrect information? Having great credit is more important than ever. Let nationally recognized credit expert Jason M. Kaplan help. Jason and his team of FICO experts will give you a free consultation and discuss how they can get your credit life back on track. Call 877-731-0082 for your free credit consultation and analysis. There's no upfront fees, and you only pay for results. Call the credit pros now at 877-731-0082.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
WCBS News Time, 8:25. Business news sponsored by Computer Network Solutions.
From the Wall Street Journal, it's Joe Connolly.
There are more signs that business is improving, Michael, even though nobody even knows what taxes will be next year because of Congress. But IBM says people came back to work and kept spending from the office yesterday, and sales on Cyber Monday were 28% higher than a year ago. Business at law firms appears to have turned the corner. Bonuses at Cravath will be up 60% over last year. We might even start hearing the phrase, knock out a wall again. If the real estate market keeps improving, new buyers of ranch houses want single-story living, but not your grandfather's floor plan. One builder says modern one-story homes are open and bright with fewer walls. And they don't advertise them as ranches anymore either because that's a 50s and 60s term. Dow futures are down 5 points. McGraw-Hill sold their education division to private investors who say they're convinced education will still be a growing industry because of the convergence of education and technology. And the private investors who own Bob's stores are buying Eastern Mountain Sports, which was founded by two rock climbers in the 1960s. Now, after Thanksgiving, some nonprofit groups call today Giving Tuesday, an idea created by the 92nd Street Y. It's always interesting to find business contacts by looking at the board of directors of these organizations. The directors of this new fundraising day are different. They're from the new technology companies like Mashable, Groupon, and Facebook, and from universities, and from the Association. I'm Joe Connolly for the Wall Street Journal on WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Time 8:27.
Important medical alert for users of antidepressant prescription drugs. If you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy, including Zoloft, Depakote, Paxil, Prozac, Wellbutrin, Lexapro, Celexa, or Effexor, and have a child born with a birth defect such as cleft lip, cleft palate, club foot, or other heart, lung, and cranial defects, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation and future medical expenses for your child's condition. Call 800-322-7975 now if you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy and have a child born with a birth defect. Time is limited to file a claim. Act now. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-322-7975. That's 800-322-7975. The call and consultation are free. 800-322-7975. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a pre-matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
I told you yesterday about the Bronx man who was considering suing 3 airlines because they refused to fly his wife home from Eastern Europe, citing her obesity. Well, yesterday, John O'Sultz's attorney announced he will sue Delta, KLM, and Lufthansa Airlines for $6 million. His 425-pound wife wanted to come back to the U.S. for medical treatment, but she died from kidney failure in her native Hungary.
WCBS News Time 8:28. Traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
We go over to the Bronx River Parkway. All the travel lanes are now open at Wakefield Avenue in Yonkers. We had a 6-car collision there. It's now cleared. Everything open. The northbound side of the New York State Thruway, Yonkers Avenue, still working a crash there. And in Rockland, we're still heavy on the southbound side of New York State Thruway, right in the area of 15A in Sloatsburg. We had a collision at last check. That was still in the process of being cleared. Then more delays getting to and across the Tappan Zee. The posted speed there is at 45 miles per hour. Through Fairfield County, I-95 delays southbound in through 27, again in through 21, again at 18 at Westport, and again at 13 in Darien. The inbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel, 40 minutes plus. The inbound side of the Holland at 20, and the inbound GWB from the express lanes of 80-95 still 30 minutes plus, but about 10 to 15 minutes from everything else, and even better still from the Palisades. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru all-wheel drive ground patrol. Bernie Vider has the mass transit update.
New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring tickets system-wide today, and so far no significant delays at any of the area airports. This report sponsored by Allstate. Don't let mayhem leave you stranded. Be protected with Good Hands roadside assistance from Allstate. It's free to join and open to everyone. Plus, there are no annual fees, and you only pay when you use it. Register at allstate.com/roadside. Are you in good hands? Here's Craig Allen, WCBS Pinpoint Weather.
Wet snow occasionally mixing with rain in some areas, especially near the coast. A slushy coating to an inch or two possible on the colder surfaces, but 2 to 4 inches of snow, especially in the higher terrain of western and central New Jersey. Right now it's 40 degrees. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Short on time and cash this season. Just a little of each will get you a large fresh-baked pizza at 7-Eleven.
Pick one up in minutes for just $5.99. Oh, thank heaven.
WCBS News Time, 8:30.
News, traffic, and weather. On air, online. We are News Radio. WCBS 880.
Good Tuesday morning, November 27th. I'm Michael Wallace.
Good morning. I'm Pat Carroll. Here's the latest from the WCBS newsroom.
Snow is falling across the tri-state this morning. Areas north and west of 287 could get up to 4 inches.
Mayor Bloomberg warned city landlords to speed up repairs on hundreds of buildings still without heat or power a month after the storm.
FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate will tour storm damage in Connecticut today.
A school in Belle Harbor that was flooded by Sandy has reopened this morning.
UN Ambassador Susan Rice meets with senators on Capitol Hill this morning to answer questions about the attack in Benghazi.
Sports, Nets beat the Knicks in overtime, 96-89. Monday Night Football, the Eagles lose to the Panthers. WCBS News Time, 8:31.
Tracking the storm. Now the latest from WCBS News.
It's a little taste of winter this morning. Our chief meteorologist, Craig Allen, says snow will fall throughout the day.
From this point on, we will start to see more and more flurries. The larger area of precip is coming in through the Philadelphia area and heading on up into southwest New Jersey first. And it will get here during the mid and latter part of the morning. That's the steadier precip. It will fall as wet snow and rain off and on, mixed in some areas through the day today.
The city may get an inch or so. North and western suburbs will likely see 2 to 4 inches.
The road's already a bit slick this morning. Driving around, WCBS reporter Paul Murnane. Tell us where you are now.
Just off 287, Pat, here at Pompton Lakes, Wanacue exit off of 287. And the snow here is probably the most substantial I've seen it all morning. Around 5 o'clock, I started noticing the snowflakes as I was driving along the thruway up in Rockland County. But the precipitation really seemed to taper off early once you got south of Mahwah. But we're seeing more in the way of the substantial snow now falling here. Although it's been coming down, the roads have been bare and wet. There's been no problem at all getting around. They did a very good job, particularly I noticed on the northbound side of 287, putting down some materials, preparing for this rock salt and such to get ready for the snow that's coming down. But I have been noticing the snow now a little more in the way of substantial south of Mahwah this morning here along 287, but the road's in good shape, bare, wet road surface. Reporting live, Paul Murnane, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time 8:32. Nearly a month after Sandy, hundreds of apartment buildings in the city are still without heat or power. Mayor Bloomberg's warning landlords to finish whatever repairs are needed as quickly as possible.
December is on its way. That means winter is approaching, and it puts us in a race against time.
The mayor says landlords can sign up for a city program which provides free repairs to get heat, lights, and hot water back on after the storm. Governor Cuomo has requested $42 billion in federal aid to recover from the damage caused by Sandy and to protect the power grid and cell phone network in case of another storm. Cuomo says in some ways Sandy was worse than Katrina.
FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate will be in Connecticut today touring some of the damage caused by Sandy in areas like Milford, Fairfield, Bridgeport, and Norwalk. Congressman Jim Himes will be with him. Last hour, we spoke live with the congressman about what the state of Connecticut expects from FEMA.
All of us are concerned that FEMA fully understand the magnitude of the rebuilding challenge that we face, and not just the rebuilding challenge, but the enormous amount of money that was put out by municipalities and by counties in places like New Jersey to make safe the situation after Sandy and to rebuild.
Himes says he hopes to communicate to FEMA that it would not be fair for taxpayers who are already paying to rebuild their lives to also have to foot the municipal bill if the state doesn't get federal help.
A school damaged by Sandy in Bell Harbor, Queens, has reopened this morning ahead of schedule. WCBS reporter Sean Adams is at PS MS 114.
Hugs, high fives, and a few tears as children literally ran back to PS MS 114 here in Bell Harbor. Their little worlds had been turned upside down by Sandy. Homes damaged or destroyed. A month spent in a foreign school. 9-year-old Nicholas Lamendola is looking forward to math class.
Because that's my favorite subject.
All right, give me a little arithmetic. 8 times 8 is...
64.
There you go. You got it. Great. See, you're back already. You're getting back in the school vibe. Do you feel it? You feel happy?
Yeah.
There was extensive flooding here. Floors had to be ripped up. The gym and auditorium need work. Parents want air quality monitored. There's still work to do, but for today, a little bit of normalcy. In Bell Harbor, Sean Adams, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time 8:35. Let's take a look at what's going on today. Now our Assistant News Director, Jonathan Clark, joining us live.
Pat, one of the brewing debates when it comes to post-Sandy rebuilding, what should be done about the now drastically altered coastline? Should it be rebuilt by man or by nature? Our Wayne Cabot and Debbie Rodriguez will ask the question in today's WCBS Afternoon Roundup. We do it every day at 3:30. It's a half hour of in-depth coverage of the day's top stories. Debbie and Wayne will also hear from a professor who claims he has a way to install pumps in the ocean that will generate cold water to the surface and greatly reduce the impact of hurricanes. It's a great listen, 3:30 every weekday. From rebuilding the coast to rebuilding your home after Sandy, an hour from now in the WCBS Opening Bell Report, we will talk with Money Pit host Tom Kreitler about making upgrades to your home so it is more storm resistant. For example, roof shingles that can withstand 130-mile-per-hour winds. That's an hour from now in the opening bell report. Guys, back to you.
Jonathan Clark. UN Ambassador Susan Rice will head to Capitol Hill this morning to answer questions about her initial remarks on the attack in Benghazi last September. She's been under fire from Republicans for initially suggesting there was no evidence the attack was an act of terrorism.
WCBS News Time, 8:36.
42, 43, $2.43.
My girls are trying to break into the lemonade biz. It's rough out there. I told them to use email marketing from Constant Contact. It was the right choice for growing my small business, Go Time Fitness. Email really works because you know people are checking their inbox every day. Here comes the competition. With email marketing from Constant Contact, you'll have the tools to easily create custom emails that will work for your business. Plans start as low as $15 per month at ConstantContact.com.
For 20 years, Helen suffered from a rare neurological condition that caused her head to shake and twist to the right.
I tried 4 major hospitals, desperate for relief. Each one spent months trying to help, but the spasms always came back.
Then Helen heard that Winthrop University Hospital was successfully treating Parkinson's disease and other movement disorders with an advanced surgical procedure called deep brain stimulation.
They wanted so much to help me, and I trusted them.
Winthrop neurosurgeons inserted tiny electrodes in the area of Helen's brain that was triggering spasms. For a while, nothing much happened.
My doctors just kept trying until one day I realized my head was steady and straight. After so long, to look someone in the eye and have a normal conversation, it was like a miracle.
Where other options failed, Winthrop's movement disorders team gave Helen her life back. To learn more, call 1-866-WINTHROP or go to winthrop.org. Winthrop University Hospital. Your health means everything.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
WCBS News Time, 8:37, sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
WCBS News Time, 8:38. Expanded traffic and weather together, sponsored by the New York, New Jersey Subaru dealers.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, just wet roads along Route 23, 46, and Route 3, and through Passaic County, and then getting toward the area of the Meadowlands. Just some building volume there on the eastbound side of Route 3. Now, on the westbound side, we had some delays getting out toward Route 46, and westbound 46, Browardtown Road in Little Falls, we still had a stall being worked on there. 1 lane blocked. We go to Rockland, southbound thruway, had the earlier collision of 59 in Sloatsburg, cleared. More delays from 59 over to 303. Still slow across the Tappan Zee. Posted speed there, 45 miles per hour. The northbound New York State Thruway, Yonkers Avenue, we still had a collision at last check being worked on there. We go to Suffolk County on the LIE. We're slow at Vets Highway 57, a collision. And then in Nassau County, still some stop and go, 135 in through the northern state. And again, Glen Cove Road on in through Willis Avenue. Southern state, lots of volume at Wantagh Avenue and a collision there. And also in the vicinity of Wantagh Parkway, we had another collision at that spot. The inbound side of the Lincoln at 40, the Holland 20, and the inbound GWB still 30 plus from the express lanes of 80-95, but much better from everything else. I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru All-Wheel Drive Ground Patrol. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
And the forecast, here's our chief meteorologist, Craig Allen.
Periods of wet snow, occasionally mixed with rain in some areas. It'll taper off late this evening. Now, there could be a slushy coating to an inch or two on the colder surfaces, but 2 to 4 inches, especially in the western and central sections of New Jersey in the higher terrain. High today, 33 to 38. Low tonight, 30 to 35. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. It's breezy, 38 to 42. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Light rain south of the city, flurries closer in, clouds right here in lower Manhattan, and snow north and west.
Up next on the Osgood File, keeping a watchful eye on artificial intelligence.
WCBS News Time, 8:40.
Hey guys, remember when you were 18 with unlimited energy and the stamina to do anything you wanted anytime? Wish you could relive your glory days and have the testosterone drive of your teenage years with the experience and skill you have today? Now you can with Progene Daily Complex.
This is Dr. Todd Karen from the American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicine. Testosterone levels decrease in men after the age of 20. It's a major cause of the aging process. The effects include lack of energy, decrease in muscle mass, increasing belly fat, and decreased sexual performance, all of which impact self-esteem self-esteem, confidence, and most importantly, overall quality of life.
Kick your drive back into high gear with Progene. Call 800-943-2706 today to get a full month absolutely free. No injections, no prescription needed. Progene is an all-natural herbal supplement that helps men boost testosterone production. Claim your free month supply now by calling 800-943-2706. That's 800-943-2706. Again, 800-943-2706. Shipping and processing charges apply.
WCBS News Time, 8:41.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Angie's List. Get reviews you can trust and great discounts from service providers right in your own area. Coming up, a special offer for you. This is Charles Osgood. Philosophers and scientists at Britain's Cambridge University have decided to launch a new center for the study of existential risk to consider the ways in which superintelligent technology could threaten our own existence. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? 2001, A Space Odyssey?
Good afternoon, Hal. How's everything going?
Good afternoon, Mr. Amer. Everything is going extremely well.
And as long as everybody thinks everything is going extremely well, then all is well and good. But remember, computers aren't men. And if we disagree, what then? An adventure in existential risk after this. With our busy lives these days, finding time for repairs or even maintenance around the house can be a challenge. So don't let a home project gone wrong ruin your holiday spirit. Do what I've done and sign up for Angie's List. Get real reviews from other Angie's List members to quickly find out the right people in your area to work on your home. Just search angieslist.com or call the Live Support Center to find the best professionals in over 500 categories. Roofers, plumbers, heating and furnace repair, and so much more. I'm proud to be a member of Angie's List. I told Angie so myself. And we talked about you, too. More than 1 million members check Angie's List before they hire, and so should you. Sign up today, and since you listen to the Osgood File, get 20% off your Angie's List membership. Just go to angieslist.com, and when you sign up, enter my last name as the promo code, Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's angieslist.com, promo code Osgood, or call 1-888-888-LIST and mention Osgood. When we humans are no longer the smartest things around, says Cambridge University professor Hugh Price, we will risk being overruled.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
I think Dr. Price must have seen the movie 2001 and that scene between Hal and Dr. Dave Bowman.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Dave, although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
The smart folks at Cambridge U will get to meet and think this through. To plan ahead is most essential when the risk is existential.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Knicks and Nets go to overtime. Sports next. WCBS News Time, 8:44.
I'm Dan Kelly, owner of Go Time Fitness. I'm always trying to stay top of mind with my customers, and Constant Contact has the tools to help me do that. They make it so easy. So when my daughters started a business of their own, Constant Contact was the best advice I could give them.
Dad, we're 9. It's a lemonade stand.
Never too early to start.
From deals to events, social to email, Constant Contact can help you grow your business. Find the solution that's right for you at ConstantContact.com.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
A little light rain in and around the city. North and west, some snow already. An inch or two on the ground. They'll see 2 to 4 before it's all over today. 5-day forecast in 3 minutes.
At 880 on your AM dial. and live on your computer and smartphone at cbsnewyork.com. Wherever you are, we are. New York's News Radio, WCBS 880.
Good morning, I'm Pat Carroll.
And I'm Michael Wallace.
Coming up on WCBS.
The inflatable bladder that could prevent subway tunnels from flooding again.
S&P futures now down 1 again. We check in with Joe Connolly in 10 minutes.
WCBS News Time, 8:45. Brad Heller has sports.
Well, Michael, 25 days later than expected, the Nets and Knicks squared off for the first time in Brooklyn, and it lived up to the hype. Going to overtime, the Nets winning at Barclays Center 96-89. Jerry Stackhouse, the go-ahead three-pointer in OT. He scored 14 points. Brook Lopez led the Nets with 22. Brooklyn native Carmelo Anthony played 50 minutes and scored 35 points, but missed the potential game winner at the end of regulation. He says the Knicks just ran out of gas.
Well, they controlled the tempo in overtime. They made shots. Stackhouse came up big for him tonight, hitting a couple corner threes. And I think that was the change of the game. I think in overtime we kind of ran out of, we kind of got fatigued a little bit.
Jason Kidd sat this one out with back spasms. Both teams 9-4 tied atop the Atlantic Division. Monday Night Football, 7 straight losses for the Eagles. They were beaten by the Panthers in Philly, 30-22. Baseball, Fox Sports reporting the Mets have a 6-year, $100 million contract extension on the table for David Wright. Multiple reports say Andy Pettitte close to a deal to return to the Yankees for another season at right around $10 million. And federal mediators will try and help the NHL settle its labor dispute. The first meetings expected to take place tomorrow. Sports sponsored by Kohl's Department Store. Don't miss the big one. Kohl's biggest 50% off sale this Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll find 50% off hundreds of great gift ideas store-wide for everyone on your list. 2 days only, this Tuesday and Wednesday. Kohl's, expect great things. Sports at 15 and 45. Brad Heller, WCBS 880 Sports.
WCBS News Time, 8:47.
Mom was always fiercely independent, so it broke my heart when it looked like I had no choice but to put her in a nursing home. I couldn't imagine her leaving the home where she made so many memories. Thankfully, I discovered a better choice. Health First managed long-term care options. Health First offers managed long-term care plans that provide specialized, coordinated care for elderly people like Mom need to maintain their independence and continue to live at home. Thanks to Health First managed long-term care options, Mom will not only be able to feel at home, she will be at home, and that's of great comfort to our family.
Find out if Health First managed long-term care options are right for your loved one. Call 1-855-552-4369. 1-855-552-4369. 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or visit hflongtermcare.org.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
WCBS News Time, 8:48. Expanded traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Pat, one more time we go back over to the Hudson River crossings. We still have the delays of about 40 minutes at the inbound side of the Lincoln, getting better at the Holland, about 15 in the inbound GWB. We had about a 15 to 20-minute delay from the express lanes of 8095, but about 10 minutes or less from any of the other approaches. Tappan Zee still holding with delays of about 40, or a speed limit, a posted speed of 45 miles per hour, and the delays still with us on the Rockland side, southbound on the thruway from the area 59 over to 303, and again across the Tappan Zee. Still that collision on the southbound New York State Freeway on the ramp to 15A in Sloatsburg, so that ramp still partially blocked. We still have the delays in New Jersey on Route 18, both ways around the area, Spring Valley Road and Old Bridge. We had a collision in the process of being cleared there, and westbound on the LIE in the area of Vets Highway, we still had a collision there, more delays at 135 in through the Northern State, and again Glen Cove Road in through Willis Avenue. Mass Transit, New Jersey Transit is going to be cross-honoring across the board on rail, bus, and light rail. All of your tickets and passes will be cross-honored today with the inclement weather on the way. And with Bernie Vider in the Transit Center, I'm Tom Kaminsky with the Subaru all-wheel drive ground patrol. Still on the road. Easy does it. We'll see you again this afternoon. Another update in less than 10 minutes on WCBS.
Craig Allen has our 5-day forecast as he tracks this snow and rain for others. Where's the line? Can you tell?
We have a cold rain falling right now, mixed with some wet snow across the city, as well as Long Island and the coastal sections of Connecticut, and right along the immediate Sound Shore portions of Westchester County. It is wet snow falling elsewhere, and it is sticking north and west of the Turnpike into New Jersey, and we have minor accumulations, but it is sticking to most of the colder surfaces north and west of town. However, the one thing to consider it through the afternoon hours is no matter what the rate of precip, I think that most of the major roads will stay wet. Temperatures will be near to slightly above freezing through the afternoon during the daytimes of the daylight hours. As soon as we start getting to around 2, 3, 4 o'clock or so, and the sun begins to set, that's when it could start getting very slippery, especially again in the higher terrain and the north and west suburbs. The winter weather advisory is specifically for Sussex, Warren, Hunterdon, Morris, and Somerset County. Probably portions of Upper Passaic County should at least be considered in that as well. And temperatures today, 33 to 38, low tonight, 30 to 35, 20s in the suburbs, so it could get icy tonight on untreated surfaces. After that, all's quiet. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sun will be shining a good part of the time, and temperatures slowly rising through the 40s each day. Right now in the city, it is 40 degrees with some light rain, humidity 67%, northeast wind at 6. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
WCBS News Time, 8:51.
The MTA is working on a plan that could prevent the type of flooding the tunnels experienced during Hurricane Sandy. It's made up of a giant inflatable bladders or plugs that would reduce the flow of water to an amount that could be handled by pumps. Engineers have been working on the project for 5 years. It's already passed several tests.
LIPA is trying to give customers who lost power during Sandy a break. Elizabeth Flagler at LIPA tells WCBS when customers get a bill, they now have a couple of options.
Customers have an option to pay the full amount and be credited in the difference of the next bill, or they can pay what they think is appropriate and wait for the actual meter reading to pay the bill. There are no late payment charges. All late payment charges have been suspended through January 31st.
Customers who still have no power and do get a bill are told not to pay it. Once service is restored, LIPA will work with them to figure out what they owe.
Some Long Island mayors have been blasting Nassau County's storm response, saying their towns and villages were left to fend for themselves. WCBS Long Island Bureau Chief Mike Cyranak's now with reaction from the county executive.
Nassau Executive Ed Mangano stands by the emergency response in his county in the days following Hurricane Sandy, firing back at some village mayors who complained of lack of coordination and leadership.
I would take exception to that. I really, this is the first I'm hearing of this, other than the fact that there was a monumental effort here.
Mangano says the first priority immediately after the storm was to save lives. He said he was proud of the county's response and emphasized emergency response will be reviewed and improved where needed.
Certainly in the wake of a disaster, you always step back and look at best practices and what more can be done.
In Bethpage, Long Island, Mike Cyranak, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time, 8:53. A sailing yacht that washed up onto the Hudson River waterfront walkway in Hoboken during the storm is still there. Police have been able to identify the owner, but they've been unable to get in touch with him, and they say now if he doesn't come forward to claim the boat, it will be removed and auctioned off.
Working behind the scenes in the WCBS newsroom this morning, desk assistants Frank Cosm and Randy Bishop.
Jane Tillman Irving is in news production.
Evan Bindle-Glass handles production at CBSNewYork.com.
Martin Untroib is our writer.
Producers Lou Zambrana and Lisa Chernkovich.
And our assistant news director, Jonathan Clark.
We have a mix of rain and snow through the area. It's going to be like this right through much of the day today. Temperatures will be mainly in the 30s, though we still have 40 in lower Manhattan right now.
Business update next with Joe Connolly. WCBS News Time, 8:54.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Locals Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Do you owe the IRS back taxes? Do you have 3 or more years of unfiled tax returns? Here at Expert Tax Advisors, we specialize in tax liens, back taxes, tax debt, wage garnishment, and collections. We have successfully mitigated these and many other technical tax issues for years. If you owe the IRS $7,500 or more, you need aggressive representation. We will contact the IRS on your behalf within 30 minutes of you becoming a client, and that's guaranteed. Protect your home, business, and family from tax liens, back taxes, tax debt, wage garnishment, and collections. Call us today, 800-253-3917, and find the peace of mind knowing the IRS will not be knocking on your door. Call now for your free, no-obligation consultation, 800-253-3917. That's 800-253-3917. Remember, we will contact the IRS on your behalf within 30 minutes of you becoming a client of Expert Tax Advisors. Call 800-253-3917.
WCBS News Time, 8:55.
Business update, Joe Connolly, Wall Street Journal.
You know what business is great this month? The Broadway shows business had a great Thanksgiving week. Business was way up. Wicked, Annie, and Newsies even set some records. So presumably all the businesses related to Broadway had a good week last week, too. From advertising to eating to parking. People still appear to be spending. Spending held up on Cyber Monday, even though people have good internet connections elsewhere now, too, not just at work. But IBM says Cyber Monday sales were up 28% over last year. A consultant to law firms says business is the best in years for law firms that have an established area of a go-to strength. Your go-to specialty is the core of the business. 401k firms are worried, though, Congress could take away some tax advantages, and deductions for home mortgage payments could be capped. Realtors don't want to see that. They might be capped if you earn above a certain income, and that income level could be $250,000 a year, which some Republicans say is not really rich, and the ceiling for higher taxes or reduced deductions, some say, should be higher than $250,000. A number of people say they liked the idea behind yesterday's story about some banks giving bonuses for retaining customers instead of for pushing new products at them. The owner of E-Day Spa in Hampton Bays says pushing too hard can be a
Marketing puts $40 back in their pockets. So it's no surprise that 2 out of 3 of them plan to invest more in email this year. Now you may be asking, how can I get a piece of that action? Simple. Just visit ConstantContact.com to start your free email marketing trial today.
Do you have student loans and are worried about making your payments? Stop worrying. Now Direct Student Aid can help if you are behind, if you are late, or even if you are in default on your student loans, we can help cut your payments fast. We provide student loan relief, getting you relief from your student loans right away. We will stop any harassing phone calls, stop any wage garnishments, and even remove any tax liens. No matter how much you owe or how far behind you are with payments, call our established Direct Student Aid toll-free assistance line right now. We can fix your student loan problems guaranteed. That's right, we guarantee we will get your student loan out of default and cut your payments right away. We have helped thousands of people just like you fix their student loans. Best of all, it's 100% guaranteed. Don't go another day with your loans behind or in default. Our specialists are waiting for your call. Call 800-395-5576. That's 800-395-5576. Again, call 800-395-5576. That's 800-395-5576.
WCBS News Time, 8:58. Traffic and weather together on the 8th.
Good morning, Chris Majette.
Good morning, Pat and Michael. Drivers in Brooklyn, what a mess on the inbound Gowanus from at least Industry City right up to the Brooklyn Bridge. All that police activity we had earlier, though, in the Brooklyn Bridge has wrapped up. The Lincoln Tunnel's 40, 20th to Holland and the GW Bridge. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Who says you can't get rewarded for driving safely? With Allstate, you can get a check in the mail twice a year, every year you don't have an accident. To get a quote, talk to an Allstate agent today. Are you in good hands? And now the latest from the WCBS Weather Center.
Winter weather advisory continues for western sections of New Jersey west of 287. Periods of wet snow occasionally mixed with rain. Along the coast, it's rain going over towards wet snow as we go through the day. And anywhere from a coating to an inch or so on the colder surfaces for most areas, but in western and central New Jersey and with the higher terrain, a 2 to 4 inch snowfall. Right now in the city, it's 40.
News, traffic, and weather on air, online. We are News Radio, WCBS New York.
Good morning, Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Pat Carroll.
And I'm Michael Wallace. Here's the latest from the WCBS newsroom.
The tri-state area gets a little shot of snow.
Morning commute's been mostly fine. The evening rush, though, could be tricky.
UN Ambassador Susan Rice heads to Capitol Hill this hour to explain her initial comments on the Benghazi attack.
6 of 10 registered voters in New Jersey say they support Governor Christie's re-election bid.
Residents in hard-hit Holgate were allowed to return to their homes this morning.
LIPA's vice president of customer service resigns after Sandy.
A Queens school badly damaged by the hurricane is reopening this morning.
Sports, Nets beat the Knicks in their first battle in Brooklyn. It was 96-89 in overtime.
Monday Night Football, Panthers beat the Eagles.
WCBS News Time, 9 o'clock.
CBS News
News, I'm Frank Sedapani. UN Ambassador Susan Rice will need all of her diplomatic skills when she goes to Capitol Hill 30 minutes from now. Rice is scheduled to get together with Republican senators who have accused her of misleading the public about the attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Rice is still thought to be the front runner for the Secretary of State's job, so she'll be meeting with some Republicans to try to answer their questions about her earlier comments on the Benghazi attack. Some had said they'd oppose her nomination, but that opposition appears to be softening. She'll be joined on the Hill by acting CIA Director Michael Morrell.
Political analyst Greg Valliere says the meeting speaks volumes.
The fact that she's willing to go down to Capitol Hill and face her strongest critics is a signal that she wants the job and the White House wants her to get the job.
President Obama is out to build support for a budget deal that would avoid damaging tax increases and government spending cuts. CBS's Nancy Cordes has that.
He's going to be heading to Pennsylvania to talk about the fiscal cliff and make his strongest case that the Bush tax rates for the wealthy should be allowed to expire at the end of the year.
Republicans are opposed to raising taxes on anyone, but open to forcing high earners to pay more by capping deductions. If Horace Greeley were around today, his advice might be go Midwest, young man. Live to CBS News correspondent Vicki Barker. Why?
The energy boom and strong farm prices have reversed the long-term trend of money flowing from the heartland into big cities. The 260 million Americans in cities and suburbs still haven't recovered their pre-downturn earning power, but the 50 million residents of small-town America are better off than before. USA Today says their inflation-adjusted income has risen nearly 4% since 2007. Among the new earning hotspots, towns in North Dakota, now the nation's number 2 oil-producing state. Frank?
Samples taken today from the exhumed remains of Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat could tell forensic scientists if he was poisoned, but CBS's Alan Pizzi tells us that's a long shot.
Palestinians are all convinced he was poisoned, and they all say that Israel did it. It may be difficult to prove that he was poisoned because polonium-210 has a shelf life of about 8 years, and it's 8 years since Arafat was buried.
Israel denies having anything to do with the polonium radiation that was found on Arafat's clothing. Joseph Murray, the surgeon who performed the first successful kidney transplant, has died. He was 93. Murray's son Rick says that pioneering transplant didn't happen overnight.
It was the result of years of preparation, years of scientific study, including experimentation with dogs to try out different surgical techniques.
Santa knows who's been naughty and nice, but come December 25th, he chickens out. A Walmart survey found that 4 out of 5 parents don't withhold presents for bad behavior. Jonathan Samet publishes The Toy Insider.
You may tell your kids, if you don't behave, you don't clean your room, you don't eat your spinach, Santa's not going to bring you something. But really, at the end of the day, you're never going to disappoint your kids for the holidays.
Businesses boosted orders for new capital goods last month, a sign they may be ready to expand. S&P futures are up a fraction. This is CBS News.
Staples Copy and Print knows you need to promote your business.
Outdoor banners.
Detailing your one-of-a-kind product offering.
Trifold, full-color, double-sided brochures.
As you grow your business.
Business cards, postcards, car magnets.
And your customer base.
Design services, presentations, shipping.
So you go to the one place that has it all and prints it right.
Staples.
And right now, get 50% off photo cards and invitations. No coupon needed. Limited time only. Details in-store and at Staples.com. Staples. That was easy.
Whether you're running a family or running a business, there's so much running to do and so little time. So let Carbonite run your computer backup for you, automatically and continually, whenever you're connected to the internet. Unlimited backup space for one computer is just $59 a year. Carbonite also has plans to back up all your small business computers for one low price. Try it free today at Carbonite.com. No credit card required. Use offer code BACKUP and get 2 bonus months with purchase. Carbonite.com. Offer code BACKUP.
Live from the CBS Hudson Square Broadcast Center in Manhattan, we are News Radio, WCBS HD and WCBS FM HD3, New York.
We have rain and snow around and into the city now, 38 degrees on this Tuesday, the 27th of November. And more details right now.
Tracking the storm. Now the latest from WCBS News.
The snow started to come down earlier this morning north and west of the city. The city isn't expected to get much more than an inch or so. Chief meteorologist Craig Allen says the tricky part of the commute, though, will be later today.
Towards this evening, as the sun begins to set, the slushy coating that's the best time for a slushy coating to an inch or two on the colder surfaces around the city and the coastal sections, less south and east, more north and west. What we're thinking of, western sections of New Jersey will have the highest amounts this time, west of 287, a 2 to 4 inch snowfall. all.
WCBS reporter Paul Murnane has been driving around the slick roads all morning. So where do we find you now, Paul?
I'm here in Suffern, Pat. Just came up from the area around Pompton Lakes, Franklin Lakes. Came up 287, 17, and over Route 59. And just bare wet road surfaces. But here in Suffern, there's more of a snow cover on grassy surfaces, more of a slushy coat in the corners of parking lots and alongside the roads. But the roads have not been bad this morning, even though I've been out in the snow since a little bit after 5, so probably 3.5 hours of consistent light snow that's been coming down. It really hasn't been sticking to the roads. Again, the grassy surfaces and the corners of the parking lots. But since about 7:30, I've been watching the dashboard thermometer driving around areas here, Mahwah and Suffern and nearby areas. It's been holding at either 32 or 33 degrees. So the temperature hasn't been dropping, but the light snow continuing to fall now. I'm seeing more of the public works trucks out now, putting down rock salt, getting the roads ready for the snow that is continuing to fall, though all morning it has been on the light side. Reporting live in Suffern, Paul Murnane, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time, 9:06. New Jersey voters are loving the idea of Governor Christie running for a second term. A Rutgers-Eagleton poll out this morning finds 6 of 10 registered voters support the idea. Christie said yesterday he would run again. He says he has more work to do to oversee the recovery from Sandy.
The public needs to know that I'm in this for the long haul. That the person who has helped to lead them through the initial crisis wants to be here to lead them through the rebuilding and restoration of our state.
Christie's filed papers so he can set up a campaign headquarters and raise money. All residents in storm-hit Holgate were allowed to return to their homes earlier this hour, the community among the areas hardest hit by Sandy. New Jersey natural gas crews over the weekend completed the repressurization of the gas main on Long Beach Island, and natural gas is now available to almost all customers. WCBS News Time, 9:07.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Aneta-Block is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Aneta-Block is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Aneta-Block is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-591-5693 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Aneta-Block is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-591-5693 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-591-5693 for details. Call today, 800-591-5693. That's 800-591-5693. Again, 800-591-5693.
WCBS News Time, 9:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th at Chris Majette in the traffic center.
Well, all the major highways in New Jersey seem to be just wet, including 78 and also the Garden State Parkway, the Turnpike, Route 80. We do have, though, on the Garden State Parkway northbound at exit 131A around Metro Park a collision. There's another one at exit 135 in Clark. And then there was a crash on the Parkway on the southbound side near the area of exit 147. That's still occupying the left-hand lane. We had some earlier police activity westbound 46 at Broward Town Road. Everything has been cleared. And also traveling through North Bergen on Tunnelly Avenue northbound. Just as you approach Route 3, an accident involving a truck. If you're heading for the inbound Lincoln Tunnel, that's the delay leader, about 45 minutes. Holland Tunnel is 20. GW Bridge, about 10 to 15 for the upper deck. It's even better for the lower roadway. Tappan Zee Bridge, a speed restriction of 45 miles an hour. And our next traffic update in less than 10 minutes on CBS.
And the forecast now, meteorologist Craig Allen. We have precipitation just about everywhere now.
It is. It's covering the whole area, and it's mostly in the form of light rain, some wet snowflakes mixed in around portions of the city, like in Upper Manhattan and definitely in parts of the Bronx. North Shore of Long Island versus the South Shore of Long Island, where it's just mainly rain, but the temperatures have definitely fallen. They are now between 35 and 40. White Plains has all light snow. Let's go on up farther into the Hudson Valley. Light snow for Newburgh, Montgomery, Poughkeepsie. Across New Jersey, it is a mix, depending upon your elevation right now. East of 287, temperatures are in the mid-30s. It is a mix. West of 287, it's right around 31, 32, 33 degrees, and the higher elevations definitely have a snow cover on the colder surfaces, and that will be the case through the afternoon. I'm not expecting any significant accumulations on roadways through the daylight hours. That may be a very different story on the commute home once it gets dark, and if the precip is still coming down at a decent rate, which I think it will, at that point we will have some wet snow sticking to the roadways as well. In terms of accumulation of slushy coating to an inch or so for the colder surfaces, but in western Jersey, where the winter weather advisory is in effect, this is a 2 to 4 inch snowfall, again, especially on the colder surfaces. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, all looking pretty good as the sun returns, although it will be chilly. We're down to 38 with light rain in the city, humidity 82%, and an east wind at 6. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
It's not too late to get a holiday retail job. An explanation ahead. WCBS News Time 9/11.
Gift giving can be stressful. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, and the list goes on. Don't let your next special date sneak up and catch you unprepared. You're just a click away from the perfect gift at RedEnvelope.com. RedEnvelope.com has always been the place online to find extraordinary, one-of-a-kind gifts, but now it's even better with hundreds of amazing gifts. Whether it's cool gadgets or awesome sports stuff for him or a customized piece of jewelry for her, you'll find it all at RedEnvelope.com. Fast, easy, and perfect. What more could you ask for? How about 20% off everything, plus our signature red gift box free? Okay, done. Just go to RedEnvelope.com and enter promotion code FAST at checkout. No one needs to know how easy it was for you to find such a great gift. That's our little secret. You can even schedule that special gift delivery weeks in advance. But hurry, this deal won't last forever. So go to RedEnvelope.com right now and enter promotion code FAST at checkout to get 20% off everything, plus our signature red gift box free. Go to RedEnvelope.com, code FAST. That's RedEnvelope.com, promo code FAST.
WCBS News Time 9/12. LIPA Vice President of Customer Service Bruce Germano is resigning, saying it has nothing to do with criticism of LIPA's performance during Sandy. And trustee Christopher Damiano says he is resigning before his term expires next August. He says so he can focus on his business. WCBS News Time 9:13.
I'm Steve Greenberg talking about your next job. Brought to you by Lawyers.com. Your legal solution starts with Lawyers.com. Though many big retailers have already hired a share of their holiday employees, hiring often continues through November and even into December. And the retailers say that they're increasing the pay and the long-term possibilities for their seasonal hires this year. Macy's is hiring 80,000 workers. Walmart and Target over 60,000 each. Kohl's and JCPenney are all hiring workers now. And don't limit your search to big retailers. There are many other less obvious seasonal opportunities. Security firms are doing a great deal of hiring. Allied Barton has over 2,000 open security positions all over the country. Museums and other tourist attractions are also seeking extra help. Target the employer with the right long-term fit for you. Your performance, reliability, and attitude can make the short-term seasonal job into the best long-term gift you receive this holiday season. I'm Steve Greenberg, founder of Jobs 4.0.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
A mix of rain and snow around right now, 38 degrees in lower Manhattan. Full forecast in 3 minutes.
At 880 on your AM dial and live on your computer and smartphone at CBSNewYork.com. When you need to know, we've got you covered.
Good morning. I'm Pat Carroll. Coming up, why today feels like the first day of school for some local kids. S&P futures are flat. We check in with Joe Connolly ahead of the market open in 10 minutes. WCBS News Time 9:15. Brad Heller.
Well, Pat, round one, Battle of the Boroughs goes to Brooklyn. The Nets outlasting the Knicks in overtime, 96-89 at Barclays Center. Felt like a playoff atmosphere, didn't it, Darren Williams?
Well, every time we play these guys, it's going to feel like that. You know, they're right across the bridge.
This has been anticipated for, about 10 years now. So, hopefully it's a great rivalry for years to come.
Williams on TNT. He scored 16 points, handed out 14 assists, 35 for Carmelo Anthony in the loss. Both teams now tied for first at 9-4. Monday Night Football, the Panthers handed the Eagles their 7th straight loss, 30-22 in Philadelphia. Several reports say the Yankees and Andy Pettitte are close to a one-year contract. Word is Mariano Rivera also near a deal to return. And according to Fox Sports, the Mets offering David Wright a 6-year, $100 million contract extension. Sports sponsored by Constant Contact. Do you ever feel like you've hit a roadblock when marketing your small business? Constant Contact helps you to cross that barrier with easy-to-use tools that grow your business, from email to events, local deals to social media promotions. Learn which product is right for you at ConstantContact.com. Sports at 15 and 45. Brad Eller, WCBS 880 Sports.
It's every parent's worry. Sick child and you can't reach your doctor. Well, Brooklyn parents can rest easy thanks to the pediatric emergency rooms at the new University Hospital, SUNY Downstate. This is Dr. Michael Lucchese. Our pediatric ERs are for the emergency care of children. Separate, super clean, with very short wait times and outstanding ER doctors. In fact, our doctors teach the doctors who practice in New York. More New York City doctors graduate from SUNY Downstate than any other medical school. ER doctors here are trained in a highly competitive program, specifically in children's emergency care. So when you're worried and up at night, the ER to remember is at University Hospital, SUNY Downstate, Litch, Central Brooklyn, and the Bay Ridge Urgent Care Center, where education and research are put into practice.
For a physician referral, 1-888-270-SUNY, 1-888-270-SUNY.
My mum always says hard work never hurt anybody. Good advice as usual. So we worked very hard to make Geico.com very easy. Say you want to report a claim and follow its progress. You can do it all online at Geico.com. Not to mention perhaps saving a tidy sum of money on your car insurance. All it takes is a few clicks. So visit Geico.com today. Oh, and Mum, if you're listening, yes, I did wash behind my ears this morning.
Health insurance is on everybody's mind right now. You either don't have it or you have it and you think it's too expensive. And you probably feel like you don't have any options. We can help. We are InSphere Insurance Solutions. We offer health insurance plans from major carriers nationwide and likely have a plan that can save you money. Whether you're self-employed, on a COBRA plan that's about to expire, or you simply don't have health insurance where you work and you need it, InSphere Insurance Solutions can help you. Our agents will help you find coverage you can afford. InSphere Insurance Solutions is an authorized agency in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. Plans may not be available in all states.
800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. That's 800-713-0182.
Book your luxurious holiday getaway at the iconic Boca Raton Resort and Club and receive a $50 resort reward for every night of your stay. Visit bocaresort.com/holidays. WCBS News Time 9:17. WCBS News Time 9:18. Traffic and weather together on the 8, sponsored by Mavis Discount Tires. Chris Majette.
Well, it's a slow go here on the island on the northern state westbound, now approaching exit 35. That's the exit for 106, 107. You've got an accident on the shoulder. And on the southern state eastbound, there was a crash at the Wanto. Actually, there were two accidents near the Wanto Parkway, exit 27, both of which have been cleared away. Also, coming into the five boroughs on the FDR Drive, there was an unauthorized truck northbound at 61st Street. Looks like that guy has been cleared away. Still have troubles in North Bergen, New Jersey on Tunnelly Avenue northbound approaching Route 3 with an accident involving a truck. Delays go back to County Road in Secaucus. We have about 20 minutes at the Holland Tunnel, 45 at the Lincoln GW Bridge, about to 10 to 15. Also the Tappan Zee Bridge, a speed restriction of 45. Delays in Connecticut, southbound 95, extra heavy from exit 29 through 21, exit 17 through 13. Also the Merritt is on the brake, southbound from exit 48 to 46, and again from exit 42 to 38. And our next traffic update in less than 10 minutes on CBS.
And the forecast now, meteorologist Craig Allen.
The dividing line for rain versus snow with the mix right up and down the Hudson River. It is primarily a mix from about Newark towards the city. Upper Manhattan has a mix. Lower Manhattan is all rain. You go across the East River out towards Long Island, down the Jersey Shore. It is all light rain with temperatures in the upper 30s to around 40. Get west of Newark, and it's changing over to all wet snow at this hour. All the way down to Trenton now has wet snow and a temperature of 34 degrees. It's 36 at Teterboro, 32 in Morristown, 35 in Somerville. So you see, with temperatures like that during the daytime hours, even though it has gone over to all wet snow, it will not stick to the prime roadways, to the heavily traveled roads, the black-topped areas. It just will not during the daylight hours. However, after 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, as the sun begins to set and the precip is still coming down, that's when it could get even trickier. Temperatures during the day staying between 33 and 38 approximately for most areas. Low tonight 30 to 35. This snow will taper off late evening, and at that time it'll be a coating to an inch or so on the colder surfaces, except 2 to 4 inches west of 287. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, 38 to 42. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny, 40 to 45. And sunshine continues into the weekend with a slow warm-up. 38 now in the city with light rain in Central Park, humidity 82%, and an east wind at 6. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Coming up, the benefits of light therapy. WCBS News Time 921. WCBS News Time 922. A storm-damaged Queens school finally reopened this morning.
Principal Stephen Grill arrived at PS MS 114 before sunup.
I can't wait to see the bright look on the children's faces. And we're looking for a family to come together today.
9-year-old Nicholas Lamendola says there is no place like home.
Very excited.
What did you miss most about your school?
Well, I mostly missed work.
There's still much work to do. The ocean inundated the gym and auditorium. Floors had to be ripped up. Parents want air quality monitored. PTA co-president Irene Doherty says Sandy was traumatizing.
It's a huge adjustment. Their whole world was turned upside down in one night, and we were down here for the storm. And as a mom, I feel horrible that I put my children through that.
She says a return to routine and structure in a familiar place is good medicine. From Bell Harbor, Sean Adams, WCBS 880 News.
Watching the sunrise. I'm Pat Farnack with the WCBS Health and Wellbeing Report, sponsored by the Valley Hospital in Ridgewood, New Jersey. Walking to work is a great way to start the day on so many levels. Michael Terman, who wrote the book Chronotherapy, says the primary reason is your exposure to light, if only for a half an hour or so.
And that's what light therapy does if you have to do it at home before you leave the house. A half an hour of bright light is giving that essential message to the inner clock to correct itself and get back in sync with the day that's starting.
Some societies work that into their day, every day.
There are certain Muslim communities where it is a sine qua non to get up real early in the morning and watch the sunrise. Now, that's intelligence.
The entire interview at cbsnewyork.com/health and wellbeing. I'm Pat Farnack, WCBS 880.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-449-4269 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-449-4269. That's 800-449-4269. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-449-4269.
This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
WCBS News Time 9:25. Ahead of the market open, we get a business update now. Joe Connolly, Wall Street Journal.
Pat, Dow futures are down 15 points, but home values rose again for the sixth month in a row. And the previously dour Case-Shiller home price report authors say we are in the midst of a housing recovery in the real estate market. Congratulations, realtors, you made it. There have been a lot of signs business is improving, even though nobody even knows what taxes will be next year because of Congress. Broadway is up. Cyber sales are up. But here's the other side of business owners who say they can't find qualified employees who want to work even part-time. MH emails, raise the pay then. People can't afford to take another part-time job. They may have 2 jobs already. There are no benefits, the pay is low, and it doesn't leave enough time to pursue a good full-time job. A consultant at a law firm says the pay gap is getting wider between senior and junior attorneys, too. Just like we were saying yesterday, the pay gap's growing between the tellers and the more experienced lending officers at banks. The pay gap, also known as the shrinking middle class and income inequality, is another big problem to be solved, like taxes and deficits. Connecticut small business owner Peter Loden of Walker Loden Gifts and Furniture with 2 locations says, we know our customers by talking to them, not by counting the shopping bag. I'm Joe Connolly for the Wall Street Journal on WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Time 9:27. The Seaside Heights roller coaster, which you may recall seeing ended up partially submerged in the ocean after it was swept off the pier by Sandy, will not become a tourist attraction. The mayor tells the Asbury Park Press the town and the casino pier owners are in talks to remove whatever's left of it. The mayor, Akers, last week suggested the former ride would make a great tourist attraction, but now he says that wasn't his brightest comment. WCBS News Time 9:28. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. Chris Majette, Traffic Center.
Well, we've got just the wet road surface on the Garden State Parkway from the Rockland line all the way down south. However, with that being said, we still have wet roads and also on the Garden State Parkway, a southbound crash at exit 147. There's 2 accidents on the northbound side, one at exit 131, which has just been cleared now at Metro Park, with another one northbound at exit 135. And also Route 18 is closed in Old Bridge both ways between Route 9 and Leon Avenue after a utility pole was knocked down. 45 at the Lincoln, 20 at the Holland, George 10 to 15. Traffic sponsored by Kohl's. Don't miss the big one. Kohl's biggest 50% off sale. Today and tomorrow, you'll find 50% off hundreds of great gift ideas store-wide for everyone on your list. 2 days only, today, Tuesday, and tomorrow, Wednesday. Kohl's. Expect great things. And now here's meteorologist Craig Allen, WCBS Pinpoint Weather.
From the city north and west into New Jersey and the lower Hudson Valley and portions of Connecticut, it will be mainly wet snow from the city south and east down through the southern sections of New Jersey and along the shore, as well as Long Island. It's rain mixed with some wet snowflakes every once in a while. Those areas, a slushy coating to an inch or so possible. However, northwest, especially west of 287 in west central New Jersey, a 2 to 4 inch snowfall, again, mainly on the colder surfaces. It will clear out late tonight and into tomorrow. Right now in the city, it's 38 degrees with rain. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
That's the opening bell from the New York Stock Exchange.
Looks like stocks will get off to a quiet start as investors balance their fiscal cliff worries with more promising signs for the housing sector.
The WCBS opening bell report is now. WCBS News Time 9:30.
News, traffic, and weather on air on online. We are News Radio, WCBS 880.
Good morning, Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Michael Wallace.
Good morning, I'm Pat Carroll. Coming up this half hour on the WCBS Opening Bell Report.
Durable goods orders were flat last month, but businesses did order more machinery.
Cyber Monday sales exceed expectations.
A free city program to repair storm-damaged homes is on pace to complete hundreds of projects a day by next week.
We'll talk live with Tom Kreutler about the kind of storm-resistant materials needed to fix up your home.
In the business of sports, why Evan Longoria's extension may be a blueprint for the Mets and David Wright.
WCBS News Time 9:31.
Now more than ever, it matters where you get your business news. It's the Opening Bell Report on WCBS.
And a minute into the trading day, the Dow down about 30, NASDAQ down about 3, S&P down 2.5, and European markets are higher in afternoon trading.
Orders for durable goods last month were flat compared to September when they jumped more than 9%. Economist Tim Quinlan says that's okay, and the trend is getting better, but
the most positive thing that I can say here is things don't appear to be as bad as initially feared. That's a long way from good.
Businesses ordered more machinery and equipment last month. That could be a good sign for economic growth.
Home prices rose in September in most major cities, up 3% compared to the same month a year ago. Prices in Phoenix jumped more than 20% in the last quarter.
Cyber Monday was even bigger than expected. Sales were up 28.4% from last year. Jay Henderson with IBM Benchmark explains why online shopping continues to grow.
It's a combination of good deals and free shipping, along with overall just more positive consumer sentiment about online shopping this year.
More than $1.5 billion were spent online yesterday. The average online order size was $130.30. That was down from almost $200 during the whole of Cyber Monday last year, according to IBM.
The city's free repair program for storm-damaged homes has fixed up about 50 homes so far. Mayor Bloomberg says he hopes the program completes about 300 projects per day by next week and eventually almost twice that. About 7,500 people have signed up since the service was announced earlier this month.
As for long-term repairs, joining us live now, Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. Tom, you talk about using storm-resistant materials, so let's start with a roof. What do you recommend there?
Well, standard roof shingles don't stand up very well in a storm, but high wind resistant shingles do. Now, these types of shingles can stand up to winds of up to 130 miles an hour, so that's more than we're typically going to see. And it makes sense to invest in them, even though the cost of the shingle itself is about 50% more than the standard shingle. Remember that when you replace a roof, most of the expenses in labor, that doesn't change. So you're talking about a roof that's only moderately more expensive for a lot more protection.
All right, how about doors?
Well, when it comes to doors, the best type of door to have today, if you want something that can really stand up, is a fiberglass door. Now, these can look just like wood. They're beautiful, but they're incredibly durable. They test them by actually firing 2x4s at them at 34 miles an hour. A 9-foot 2x4 is fired into the door, and it has to bounce off, and that's what happens with fiberglass, but with wood, it would pierce the door.
You've discovered a pretty good way of identifying whether materials will be storm resistant at all. How does that work?
Well, the best thing to do is to take a look and find out if the building material you're choosing, whether it's a window, a door, a siding, is Miami-Dade County approved. Now, this is one of the toughest standards in the country for building code because of the prevalence of hurricanes down in Florida. If the building material is Miami-Dade County approved, you know it's going to stand up well in the Northeast.
All right, thanks. Tom joins us every Tuesday with more tips for recovering and rebuilding from Sandy. And you want to be sure to catch his reports Saturdays on WCBS at 9:10 and 12:10.
Unless Congress does something, we'll reach the edge of the fiscal cliff 5 weeks from today. Joining us now, Bloomberg Businessweek contributor Robin Farzad. Robin, do you see this week's talks on Capitol Hill going anywhere?
You are starting to see light at the end of the tunnel to the extent that certain Republicans who signed Grover Norquist's, apparently ironclad pledge to never raise taxes are kind of backtracking away from that pledge. They realize that for a deal to happen, there's going to have to be some sort of wiggle on what's euphemistically called revenue, raising taxes.
So if some Republicans are willing to raise taxes, are some Democrats willing to cut some spending?
I think that's the implicit argument here. If we're going to fall on our sword in a certain respect, we expect you to do it as well. And that's really what comes out of the reconciliation process. When you have both sides dig in their heels, if the White House is saying, we tax the highest 2% or nothing, and the other side is saying we tax no one and we focus on budget cuts. I mean, you see that's what they call in negotiations planting at the outset, and then gradually, hopefully, as the deadline looms or even as the deadline passes, these guys feel urged to come closer together.
We don't even seem to have an agreement, Robin, on what would happen if we fall over the fiscal cliff. Some say definite recession. Warren Buffett was on CBS this morning saying if we go over, it really won't do all that much. What camp do you fall in?
I feel like in the past this has happened. This has always been threatened. If you look at the government shutdown impasse between Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton, that was the case. You had Ronald Reagan later in his term was at loggerheads with the Democrat-dominated Capitol Hill. You kind of see this brinksmanship and this hyperbole ahead of it, all doom and gloom. And you get this impression that, yes, there is going to be, on the margins, uncertainty. People are going to change their behaviors, or if they were thinking of buying something or investing in property, plant, or equipment, that they're going to hold off until there's more certainty. But I'm not all that convinced that it's Armageddon necessarily come January 2nd.
We'll hang our hats on that at least. Robin Farzad, contributor to Bloomberg Business Week. Thanks, Robin.
My pleasure.
Coming up next on the WCBS Opening Bell Report, 3 signs the economy is improving.
That's next in our Morning Joe. WCBS News Time, 9:36.
Looking for the perfect family getaway? Come to Holiday in the Lodge, the all-new family celebration at the Great Escape Lodge. Be amazed by the dazzling lights and beautiful decorations. Enjoy special visits with Santa and story time with Mrs. Claus. Splash and play in our huge indoor water park, always free with your stay. Right now, rooms as low as $149 a night when you book online at sixflags.com. Don't miss Holiday in the Lodge.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Dow down 23, WCBS News Time 9:37. Time for our Morning Joe.
Joe Connolly, Wall Street Journal.
Number 1, here's a phrase we haven't heard in a long time. Bonuses are up a lot. At Cravath Law Firm here in Manhattan, bonuses are up as much as 60% over last year. Now, they're still not as high as they used to be, but a consultant at the law firm says business is the best it's been in years for firms that have established areas of go-to strengths. Go-to strengths is the key. Second, Thanksgiving weekend sales, which now go from Monday before to the Monday after Thanksgiving, were up by double digits over last year. The deals have been so good, stocks in retailers fell because Wall Street's worried they're giving away the store. Yeah, right. A little chance of that. And third, as we're hearing, the real estate market is improving. A report says more buyers are modernizing 1950s and 60s ranch houses because people of all ages like single-story living. One builder says new buyers of ranch homes want single-story living, but not your grandfather's floor plan. Modern one-floor homes are open and bright with fewer walls, so we may be hearing knock out a wall again, another phrase we haven't heard in a while. Realtors don't advertise them always as ranches because it's a outdated 50s and 60s term. Another report says multifamily homes are selling better too, and often it's one of the families that lives in the house right now that buys it. I'm Joe Connolly for the Wall Street Journal on WCBS News Radio 880.
Traffic and weather together at 9:38, sponsored by iToro.
Here's Chris Majette.
Well, not too bad north of the city in Westchester County. It looks like just wet roads along 287 in White Plains. And even if you're coming down 684 from Brewster and the southbound Taconic from East Fishkill, everything seems to be just wet. The ride on the Connecticut Turnpike, though, is still very slow. Southbound exit 29 through 21, exit 17 through 13, southbound Merrittsville exit 48 through 46, again exit 42 to 38. And also at the Hudson River crossings, the Lincoln Tunnel's been the delay leader, but that's down to about 10 to 15. Holland Tunnel's 20, GW Bridge minor delays. And our next traffic update in less than 10 minutes on CBS.
And the forecast now from meteorologist Craig Allen.
A winter weather advisory in effect for much of New Jersey west of 287. Periods of wet snow occasionally mixed with rain in some areas, and it will taper off later this evening. Now, for most places, just a slushy coating to an inch or two possible on the colder surfaces. But when you get west of 287, it could be a 2 to 4 inch snowfall, especially in the western and central sections of New Jersey in the higher terrain. High temperature 33 to 38. Low tonight 30 to 35 with 20s in some suburbs, which could make it slippery. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. It's breezy, 38 to 42. Thursday, mostly sunny, 40 to 45. I'm Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Rain here in Lower Manhattan, snow north and west. It is 38 degrees.
WCBS News Time 9:40.
Have you heard? Proactive is better than ever. Stay tuned for a 1,000,000 bottle giveaway, and you'll also receive free shipping. Do you have troubled skin, acne? Well, we have great news. With Proactive, your acne can heal, and you can prevent new breakouts from happening. Don't miss this limited time offer. Give us a call at 1-800-533-3091 because we're going to let 1,000,000 people try Proactive risk-free, get 2 free gifts, and also receive free shipping when you call right now. You heard it. This